I don't care if you're knocking fools out at the Holiday Inn. If this is Black and Black Times Infinity, I am your boy Blue, coming to you live and direct from the stack. Smoke me out, fam, with some dank shit. On my far left, it's the oldest ninja in the world. Oh, ninja.
Bob had bitch.
almost made me spill my drink. And on the far right, mixing out on ones and twos, is Kronos.
When life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. Toss us some vodka, and you got a drink. You'll be all right.
Damn.
That's my kind of party. Here we are, back at it again, fellas. Stitch is out there protecting the city, making sure everybody's...
Stitch might pop in. He might sneak in here. He might sneak up in here like thief in the night. So keep an eye out. Or keep an ear open.
Yeah. He's going to bust in like an undercover brother.
He's going to bust in like the Kool-Aid man. It'd be funny if he was overweight, but he's not overweight. He's pretty skinny. So.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. He's average size. He's not skinny. He's just a normal sized dude.
I'm right. He's skinny.
I guess he's not that skinny. But and then Prodigy's still running from the Meta Police and
running for the Fuda.
Yeah, he's running. He's either running towards Fuda or running to some kind of Fuda authority. I don't know. But,
yeah, Zuck put me into his office like, hey, we need to find him. I'm like, I don't know anything, man. I don't know. Who you talking about?
He's all, do you know this person? Wait, what are you talking about?
He's all, swear to me.
Yeah.
All right.
I
will do some quick statistics. Yes. Listener of the week would be Sash. Thank you very much for listening. We definitely appreciate it.
Wait, Slash? As in the
Sash
guitars?
is in S-A-S-H. Sash.
Oh, okay.
Like a thing you wear, like a sash? A sachet?
Mm-hmm.
Sash. Nobody...
Wait,
Go ahead.
No, isn't Slash, isn't he biracial? Isn't he like...
Yes, he's mixed.
White?
Slash?
He is mixed. And, I mean, Tom Morello, the guitarist from Rage Against the Machine, he full-on says that Slash is black. And they have an album together. And their kids perform together. So...
I literally just learned this yesterday.
I don't know if I ever even heard Slash talk.
Really?
I just know that he has some... He has some fantastic hair. I'm just saying.
He always has a top hat. And I remember the time he was on Loveline. That was awesome. He was on Loveline with Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I came across this video, about this video that talks about how like black people created rock and roll, which is 100% true. And at the end they just said, "Oh yeah, Slash is black," and dropped the mic there.
Yeah, I mean, Tom Morello does the same thing. So Tom Morello, he has a show on Sirius FM. I forget the name, but he runs it, I think, once a week. And he basically, I mean, without saying it, he basically covers black history through rock and roll. And he will drop, like, knowledge and stuff and his own experience. And then he'll, like, play, like, some... rock that's probably by an up-and-coming African-American artist, as well as artists that he likes, as well as, like, projects that he's working on. It's actually a really good show. He drops a lot of really great knowledge on his shows. I highly recommend it.
Yeah, that's really cool. I didn't know that at all. That's
Oh, yeah. It's like at a weird time. It's like Sunday night or something on Sirius.
No, I knew that part. I didn't know Slash was black. Or at least
yeah. Because, like... On the show, that's where I found out from Tom Morello, and then he has like a little snippet about like him and Slash talking about being black in the music industry and like the kind of music they wanted to make versus what people wanted to make. It's actually really insightful. He talks about a lot of knowledge about being in the music industry in the '90s and stuff. It's really good.
I guess it's kind of hard to tell because you only see like a sliver of his face.
Yeah, he always has sunglasses. Yeah.
Yeah.
And a hat, top hat, and then he wears it low, and then there's hair. The other hair, his hair covers the rest of his face.
All right. Anyway, y'all heard the ding or the blue whatever thing in the background? Y'all probably did, but the listeners.
No, I didn't. The audience did.
Yeah, that was from Clay. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. First in the chat will be Warrior Fella. Definitely appreciate that. So thank you very much.
Who's listening? He listened to us in class, so hopefully he have headphones on.
Oh yeah, dude! Don't get busted.
So yeah, I found this chick and I was like, no.
Damn.
All right.
So if you want to know what we're talking about,
what was his name? Dave Chappelle. He set up that joke. He told the actual punchline.
Yeah.
He was punching the pussy or something like that.
Yeah.
She was hilarious.
But he also had this other skit on the show where like you cannot feel with their political views. And this guy's like, he's like talking about what he did to his wife last night. Yeah. But then the guy's like, hey man, who did you vote for? He's like, what? Are you asking me who I voted for? So yeah, I had her bent over. It's like, what the?
You can talk about heinous sexual acts with your partner, but you can't talk about what political affiliation you are.
You can't talk about that, and you can't talk about how much money you make.
I mean, you can.
Oh, two subjects.
You can do whatever you want. Just face the consequences. So.
All right, we got some RIPs.
That we do.
Yeah, we do. I actually added a few quick ones
on Rampage this week.
Yeah, well, every week really. We're gonna start out. We're gonna pour out some Mickeys for our dearly departed. We're gonna start with Peter Robbins, known as being the original voice actor for the character of Charlie Brown. He started voicing Charlie Brown at the age of 9. He battled lifelong mental illness, struggled with addiction, and had several run-ins with the law as an adult. His family reported that he died after committing suicide at the age of 65. Next up, we have Meat Loaf, born Marvin Lee Aday, Grammy Award-winning musical artist who actually initially he struggled to gain success in the U.S. The key to his success was his popularity in the UK. His Bat Out of Hell trilogy of albums was a huge success in Britain and in Ireland, even though the first album was released in 1977 and the trilogy ended in 2006. His most notable single is I Do Anything for Love.
I will do anything for love, but I won't do that.
He's appeared in 50 films and TV shows most of the time. Yeah, most of the time. Some of the more notable films and shows that he was in, the Rocky Horror Picture Show, both in the film and on Broadway, Hair, both on and off Broadway, Spice World, Black Dog, Fight Club, WWE Raw, and The Celebrity Apprentice Show. He was critical of restrictions brought about in reaction to COVID-19 pandemic, telling the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette in August of 2021, I hug people in the middle of COVID. I understand stopping life for a little while, but they cannot continue to stop life because of politics. He was opposed to mask mandates and compulsory vaccination, described a person who called for people on airplanes to wear masks a Nazi and power mad. Meat Loaf then said, if I die, I die, but I'm not going to be controlled. He died at the age of 74 due to complications from COVID-19. He was in the process of making my beer.
Death controlled you in the end, so it's unfortunate that he died like that. There's been so many people that have been like anti-COVID, anti-restriction, anti-vax, and they're dying of COVID. I wonder what they're thinking of as they're dying. I can't imagine like the possibility of being that wrong on something. But at the same time, I mean, I guess at this point in time, you're free to fucking die like that. But, I still keep going back to if you infect others, like, I understand if you do something to yourself, it only affects you. But this is a thing that's rare to where you can infect other people and they can die too. So.
Who was it? What was his name? The political guy.
Trump?
No, the one that like Trump kind of left out to dry.
The pillow guy?
No, not that guy. No, he died of COVID-19. He was an anti-vaxxer. We talked about it on the podcast last year because he was anti everything, and then he caught it. What was it? Herman? Was it Herman?
Oh, Herman Cain.
Herman Cain. Yeah, he died from COVID, and he was against it. Went to a rally, no mask, caught it, was sick for like a month, then he died. Quite terrible.
I don't know. People, like I said, you're free to do what you want, but consequences. Consequences.
All right. Next up, we have Louis Anderson, stand-up comedian, TV host, and film actor with four decades of work in the film industry. He had a cartoon series called Life with Louie from 1998. He hosted the revived Family Feud before Steve Harvey took over. His stand-up comedy was more family-friendly out of respect for his mom and his grandmother. He starred in what are now classic movies, such as Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Coming to America, Baby's Kids, and Coming to America, the sequel, which was his final film role. He appeared in popular TV shows such as Nash Bridges, Scrubs, The Grim Adventures of Bill and Mandy, Drunk History, and Young Shelton. He won an Emmy for his performance as a mom to twin adult sons in the FX TV series Baskets, and he has since been nominated 2 more times for that particular role. He died from complications of a type of non-Hodgkin lymphoma at the age of 68. And then, quick.
Wait, I was just gonna say, I thought he passed away a couple of years ago.
No, he passed away a few days ago.
Yeah, I think I always get him. I get him mixed up with I always say the guy from Roseanne, but that guy is still alive too.
Yeah, I still.
Oh.
The guy who played Dan.
Yeah, no, I can't think.
I think cocaine's probably keeping him alive. That's a joke.
God dang, I figured cocaine would help him die faster.
I mean, it depends. You can outrun death if you're on enough coke.
Damn. John Goodman. John Goodman's the name of your
Yeah, John Goodman. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I'm thinking of the other guy, not John Goodman. I don't think he was on coke.
Yeah, I don't
the other
think
guy
he's on
definitely
coke.
was. Tom Arnold. That's what I'm thinking of.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty
Come
sure.
on, yeah.
I'm pretty sure Tom Arnold stopped doing coke though, because he's probably doing some whacked out shit.
But is coke still doing him?
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll find out.
Can't say goodbye to me.
So some quick ones I'm gonna run through really quick. Ian Alexander Jr., the only child of Regina King. He was a DJ. He committed suicide earlier this week at the age of 26. Hudson Madsen, the oldest son of star Michael Madsen, he committed suicide also at the age of 26 a few days ago. And then Nevi'im Nesta Ali Shane O'Connor, 17-year-old son of Sinead O'Connor, committed suicide days after he went missing from an Irish hospital's suicide watch ward. His death was announced on January 8th.
It's just fucking depressing, man. What about Regina King's? Did you already say that one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ian,
The
Ian
27th,
Alexander Jr. That was the first one.
Okay, I didn't hear the King part, but maybe his last name
Do
was
it.
King. So
Yeah, her only
When you-
child. That was
When you guys post that in the chat, I was like, "What? Regina King died? She committed." So I did not see Son. I just read
yeah.
Regina King suicide.
yeah,
But
her super sad and weird kind of coincidence that her son and Michael Madsen's son, same age, both died the same way.
yeah,
Well,
it's fucked up.
not the same way per se, but they both committed
So
suicide.
that's 3 suicides in RIPs.
Mm-hmm.
God damn. That's
All right, no, four suicides.
4?
Yes, the first one was suicide, and the last 3 were suicides.
The last 3. Okay. No, well, the last 3. I thought it was just.
No, Ian Michael Jr.,
Okay.
Hudson Madsen, and Nevi'im Nessa Ali Shane O'Connor, as well as Peter Robbins,
Sorry.
all committed suicide.
I was tripping. I was looking something up. I was trying to communicate with Dan.
I
Papa
see.
Bear.
The one thing about Sinead O'Connor's son, he committed suicide on the 8th, which I didn't pick up, but pointing out that a lot of these celebrities have lost a lot of their children at fairly young ages, unfortunately.
Yeah. That's fucked up.
Pretty sad. All right.
Anyway, I can bring it up a little bit, maybe. Or you
Yeah, I
want
was gonna say since you were talking about Papa Bear.
Yeah, because I was talking to him actually about what we're going to talk about right now, because we're still setting things up, which is kind of fucking crazy. So anyway, I think last week I talked about how I'm on the board of directors for a new nonprofit called Rescue Residents, and I think the next day, Papa Bear sent me and the other board member like a text, and he was bidding on he was trying to see how it works to get to bid on a vehicle from a certain website for an ambulance, because it's a place that has an auction site for ambulances, and so he bid in I think a little over $5,000 just to see how the alerts worked and how all these other things worked in the process. He definitely didn't think that he was going to win the bid on this ambulance. He ends up winning the bid. So we're like, okay, what the fuck? First of all, yeah, okay. We got the bid, so we went into kind of scramble mode, hey, we need to raise some money for this, and where is it? It's in Ohio, which is lucky because that's where Matt from Pre-Recorded Live lives, and so does Becky and Joe. And so immediately, I hit up while Papa Bear's trying to figure out setting up donation sites and shit. I'm talking to Matt, hey man, I need some help. We're gonna get this ambulance. How far is it from you? It's 2 hours away from him. And so he graciously offered his help in picking up the ambulance, because it runs, which is amazing, and then putting it in a safe place for a couple of weeks or months, however long it takes me and Papa Bear to get out there. Probably be a couple months because we want to get it taken to a mechanic to get some. We want to make sure they can actually drive all the way back from Ohio to Yucca Valley, which is Death Valley in California. So it's really far away where we have to drive. So it's over, I think it's probably around 3,000 miles, maybe more. So we want to make sure that I can make that trip. Yeah, you can look it up if you want. I'm pretty sure it's around 3,000 miles. So yeah, so that happened, and this is all in the middle of. So we already started the process. Papa Bear, he started the process of setting up the company as a 501(c), which is basically a nonprofit, so people can donate to us and write off their donations to our company. But that's still all going through LegalZoom and the IRS. So right now we're pending for 501(c) status, but it's guaranteed through LegalZoom, so it shouldn't take too long to get through that. So if anybody donates now, at the end of the year, we will find all the people that donated to us and then send out the actual 501(c) information so that they can make it tax deductible if that's a concern for you. Because I know some people, when you donate, you want to make sure you can write it off on your taxes, because that definitely helps. So yeah, we started this thing and we kind of hit the ground running, even though we didn't really want to do that. And now Papa Bear has us involved with a whole bunch of homeless organizations where he lives, to get on various committees to see how all these things are involved, to how we can get funding. I know we have meetings for a person that has to do with grants early next month. We have a whole bunch of other things that we have to do, and we're setting it all up. And we luckily, over the past week, we've raised pretty much enough money to cover the basic ambulance, but we also need to cover however much it'll cost to possibly repair it, to get a mechanic to look at it, at least get it, a tune-up, stuff like that. So I will put in the description of this podcast the information of Rescue Residents. If you didn't listen to the last podcast, Rescue Residents is a nonprofit that is set up to specifically help out homeless veterans find a home. So our thing is to identify homeless veterans and then get them into an RV, onto a RV park. And we're going to have a central location first in Yucca Valley, which we're still setting up. And we're going to retrofit old ambulances for these veterans. And then they will have their central location will be at an RV park somewhere around the country. And that'll give them the physical address. So if they need to get a job, one of the hardest things for people to do to get a job, if you're homeless, is actually having a physical address. So that's one of the things that we identified first to help veterans. And one of the other things we identified is that if you happen to have a skill set in a place where you live that doesn't pay you enough money to make a living wage, then what do? And you don't have any money and you have no way to get somewhere else. Well, the RV will help. So we're going to help them give them an RV, and then if they have a skill set that won't give them a living wage where they live, then we will find a job for them in another region and then set them up in an RV park in that region. so that way they can use their skill set somewhere else where they can actually thrive. So that's the basic premise of what we're trying to do with rescue residents.
So I found out this the hard way about if you don't have a physical address, it's actually hard to get a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Like a bank account. It was super hard to get a bank account if you do not have a physical address. Getting a job, like, depending on the job, sometimes they'll be like, hey, if you have a P.O. box, we'll use that as your address. Some places won't accept that.
Yeah.
They're like, you need like a residential address. So like that's actually something I had to struggle with like years ago. But as far as financial institutions, it's different now because now you can use stuff like Venmo, Cash App. They can basically be like a bank account for you because you can just put money on there and then like they'll send you a card and you can use it like a Visa or debit card pretty much. So it's a little easier to kind of manage money once they start getting money in, with the job or whatnot. But hopefully, I mean, and it's kind of easy to get a cell phone now. Like you can either get like a Cricket or whatever, and there's like programs. Yeah, but there's also programs that give out free phones. Yeah. I know there's one near us. They like give phones to the homeless. Like they just donate them and they show them how to like link up. They call it. Some people call it the Obama phone, but it's usually like phones for like the elderly. But I guess if you're homeless, you can get on the same program. So there's a lot of resources out there.
But then also with PO boxes, like a lot of the times, so these post office will be like packed, so it's hard to get a PO box. Like it's it's very hard to get PO box.
And I guess they changed their payment system because you used to pay once a month, and I guess they don't do that anymore, or something. They do some weird like tiers or something now. So I don't know. I haven't had a PO box in a while.
So either way, I mean, having a physical address at a place will definitely fix that.
A lot of stuff.
So that was like, I think it was like we had like two main issues that we had to like help solve these things, and I think that was number one. So I have high hopes for this nonprofit. We're learning a lot. I'm already doing a bunch of research, and I think Papa Bear has been going 100 miles per hour, doing a whole bunch of stuff, making a whole bunch of phone calls. There's a whole bunch of emails and just communications back and forth with various organizations. And we're trying to identify like where we can fit in with all these various organizations. Because to be honest, I think, me and Papa Bear, we had a podcast. It actually wasn't released because I messed up and my hard drive got full. But we had a really good conversation with somebody that lives in San Francisco about homelessness. And
it's like the Mecca.
Yeah, and it's like
seems like
you drive around anywhere in the Bay Area and you see all of these like homeless people everywhere, and it's just like, and then you look up, like I started looking up like how much budget do they have for, the homeless, situation, and it's a lot of money, and all these things that they're trying to do, like they're ineffective, like wholly ineffective, because the homeless problem, at least where we are in the Bay Area especially, it's gotten worse over like the past 10 years. It's gotten exponentially worse in the past 10 years. And so these programs are not helping. They're getting more money, but nobody's really helping them. And I think one of the main things that we agreed on is housing first. And it's an initiative to where you have the least amount of hurdles as possible to get somebody homeless in an actual home. And a lot of the places here, in the Bay Area and other places, they want to make them go through all these hurdles. Like, are you on drugs? What's your mental state? All these other things. And it's like, can't you just get them a home and then figure all that other shit out? I mean,
yeah,
it'd be way easier. Like, people's mental health would probably be way better in an actual home. So if they have mental health issues, do you think they're going to be worse or better in a home or out on the streets? So, and then I'm seeing like where my tax dollars are going for homeless situations, and I see literal things in the Bay Area that make it so homeless people can't even sleep in certain places. Like they'll put spikes up so people can't sleep there. And it's like, that's where our tax dollars are going to cause pain on people that need help. And people just think that's totally acceptable. Oh, well, we don't see them there, but that's a person. That's a person. And so Go ahead.
It's also, I was gonna say it's also crazy because like some of these programs. So say if somebody is able to get into a program, I mean not so much a veteran, but maybe like a a person who's recovering from like drug addiction or something like that. If they relapse, they're kicked out of the program, and it's like yo, like that's when they need more help. Like they need to kind of they felt like they faltered. They something came up, some stress thing that that's caused them to lose control, and they end up smoking or getting high or whatever again. It's like these programs are set up for people to fail, and it's not there to just to keep them on their toes and keep moving. Like it's so sad when you hear about stories about like people who fell off the wagon and they're kicked out of the program and they end up on the street again.
Yeah, and look, I mean, we've all made mistakes. I mean, but for some of us, those mistakes that can be minor for some, could be catastrophic for others. If you have a stable family system or good friends and stuff like that, and you make a mistake, you can rely upon them. But if you don't have those people around you that can help you, especially in the Bay Area, like if you don't make a certain income here, you're literally like one paycheck away from being fucking homeless. One. And that's crazy to me. And so I think working with veterans is going to be of great help to me personally, because I want to be able to give back to people that serve. I want to be able to serve those that serve. Obviously, everybody listening to the podcast, you guys know I'm a Marine. Obviously, I'm not active anymore, but I love this mission that we have, and I think we can do great things. And we're already starting. We already have the first piece of getting an ambulance, and then we're going to convert it into an RV. And we're going to document the process of everything, and we're going to have a podcast hopefully sometime next week on Balance Exchange. We'll release it on here as well. Just talking about like the whole thing, how we got started, and what we're going to do. So.
Will you guys like make like a video documentary about it, or just audio?
Yeah, when we go out there, I think me and Papa Bear are gonna do a video, like a vlog thing of like actually going out to Ohio, meeting up with Matt, seeing the ambulance for the first time, and then driving all the way back. Hopefully, we don't fucking break down, but it'll be interesting driving an ambulance anywhere. So yeah.
I'm kind of a little jealous. Like you've got to see Matt, Joe, and Becky, and this will be your second outing.
Yeah.
You're the only one from the podcast that's actually seen them live and direct. Yeah. Even though we've had them on the podcast numerous times, but
we have. It's gonna be a bonus, especially because I'm
but you broke bread with them literally.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to actually Matt cooking for me again.
Oh my God! He's even like stuff that he posted that he thought was just like okay or didn't come out the way he really wanted looks like fucking amazing. I'm like, dude, you think that this was not okay, like not very good? This looks crazy good. So yeah, it didn't come out the way I wanted, or it was like like whatever specific is missing or something. I'm like, dude, this still looks amazing. So.
Well, I'm jealous because it'd be cool to be part of something life-changing, something that have an impact on somebody's life. And it's interesting because, like, there's here in the Bay Area, they're trying to do the whole tiny house community for the homeless. But, like, yeah, that's cool and all, but, if your skill set isn't making you enough money to where you can sustain a life on your own, like, yeah, tiny house is great and everything, but, you can't move into you can go to a regular house. Yeah. Work your way up, but like definitely be able to be mobile where you can move to an area where your income is more appreciated for a house. Like instead of paying $3,000 for a one-bedroom apartment, you can pay $3,000
$3,000 for a studio. $3,000 for a studio. Yeah, not a one-bedroom. Yeah, and besides, Blue, you know what you need to do in order to, affect people's lives. Just be Batman. Like you said you was going to be.
Well, I mean, in the future,
I wish.
There's ways you guys can help. Obviously, you can donate, and then there'll also be things like in the future we'll need help with various things. This is one of the crazy things that occurred to me, like as I've been, talking to my friends and family, is like how many people that I know that have offered like not obscure help, but like help that I didn't really think about. I've had people come to me with financial help. I have people come to me with help with actually getting ambulances possibly donated for free. I've had people. There's a couple other ones too, but I've had like a bunch of people that have reached out. Oh, with video editing, with a bunch of other stuff, and it's just like I didn't realize like how many of my friends could help on something like this that might not be just like the direct financial means. So
If you need a photographer, I know a guy.
yeah, you see, like, there's like all these things that I didn't think about before that are definitely helping.
Even like a little bit of construction stuff too. I mean, I built a house technically, or a little shed,
Yeah,
shack, a shed, a studio.
A
Yeah,
minute.
but also like I don't know, like mechanical stuff. Like Chronos and I like we car guys, so we know a little bit of ways around the engine. So if it's something simple, but then again, I'm gonna pull a Riggs, not Riggs. What was Dennis Glover's character's name in
Murtaugh? Is it Murtaugh? Yeah, Riggs and Murtaugh.
Murdoch? I think it's
Yeah.
Murdoch.
I thought it was Murtaugh, like Murtah.
No, I can't
Well,
remember now.
To quote him, I'm too old for this shit, Riggs. Like,
Yeah, Riggs and Murtaugh. Oh, Murtaugh.
Murtaugh.
wait,
yeah.
fun fact: isn't Danny Glover from the Bay Area?
I know
No idea.
I know he
Maybe?
was. If he's not from here, he at least lived here for a long time. Because my stepfather, he actually sold a bunch of clothes to him. So
He was born in San Francisco.
yeah, that's where my stepdad's shop was. Not anymore, but yeah. If
So
you
it's
want,
funny, I have
go ahead.
one of my ex-girlfriends. She graduated college with his daughter.
Wow.
Yeah. What is Danny Glover still around?
Yes, she's still around. Don't you put that juju out there.
Oh god.
I heard they're trying to film a new Lethal Weapon too. So I'm like, there's no way.
Yeah.
But it'll be fun to see.
Oh, just
Oh,
all he needs
all
to do,
these.
he needs to link up with goddamn what's that? Sylvester Stallone, get on his Mexican supplement regimen, and he'll be all right. I'm just saying, that guy's on all kinds of fucking steroids.
Damn.
He needs to be in the next Expendables. You need to be in Expendables 4.
Expendables.
Expendables. But yeah, man, like I'm really excited about your nonprofit. It sounds like it's going to be changing some life. I hope the best that it's as successful as it should be, and I hope it's it gets to the point where it's not just for veterans. Like it's actually helping out more than that. But veterans they fight for our country. They have like all these mental health issues. Not all these mental health issues, but like they're suffering, and I feel like the government kind of just oh, okay, you serve for us. Like, here you go, bye.
Yeah.
You want the program? Sorry, we don't have anything for you.
Yeah, that part is bad, but it's also, how do I put this? It's almost not a blessing in disguise, but so like the VA, they have like apparently they have identified a bunch of homeless veterans. And I didn't even know this. Papa Bear said he already talked to them. We can use their actual database to actually find these homeless veterans. So it's like super easy for us to like figure that shit out. So we don't have to go out and like find like the vast majority of them. There's already a database with the VA of like, hey, these people, this is where they generally are. These are their names, and we can go out and find them pretty easily for help if they want the help. So yeah.
Yeah, that's another issue. Like, you can offer help to someone, but they have to accept it. If they don't want the help, then not a whole lot you can do.
What's also great is that, I mean, Kronos knows this fucking by heart, but like, a lot of these veterans, especially like, if they start off in like living out of the ambulance or whatever, and wow, I really just, I actually
said it, ambulance.
Yes, ambulance. In the paramedical van. But no, like, it's cool because like veterans, they get like great like loans for like first time home buyer programs, something like that, or like no money down, so like they can slowly start to build up that I don't know, the American dream basically of owning their own home and this and that. So
yeah, and the plan is to just give them the RV. That's the plan, is to give them the RV, and then it's theirs.
Okay, so you don't expect them to like donate it back Or
if they find a permanent housing, then they can give it back, or we could buy it back, or have like a sort of donation thing going on. But the first thing that we're worried about right now is just getting them into the RV, and then I think another phase will be how to get them into permanent housing, and then working with housing first initiatives and programs to get them into permanent housing if they decide to go into permanent housing. So, but we're not worried about that part right now. I mean, it'd be nice to be able to recycle some of these RVs if some of them come back, but if not, I mean, it's theirs. I don't want there to be like hooks involved. So yeah, keep it.
Yeah. And that's a really cool thing, because there's a financial guy that I follow, and he talks about how, like, you know, if you give people money, like by you giving that person money, they're basically like your relationship changed. You're no longer friends. You're basically, I don't want to. It's gonna sound very racist, but it's master and like whatever, because they owe you money, so you're constantly like wondering about money. But if you give somebody money for free, you know, like don't even think about it. Like it just eases the stress on everybody.
Yeah, I think as I've gotten older, like anytime that somebody's asked to borrow money from me and I've given it to them, I assume that they're not going to pay me back.
Yeah,
that's just what I assume. Like, and I don't. That way, it makes it easier for me to not sort of resent them. Like, because if this maybe sounds familiar with somebody that ever loaned your friends money. You loan your friend some money because they're down on their luck, and then you're friends with them on some sort of social media, and they got through whatever they're gonna get through, and then you see them like spending money on a bunch of extra bullshit, and it's just like, well, can you pay me back? Like, I see you going to clubs and, you know, doing all this other shit, but you still owe me money. Like, why don't you pay me back? So my policy now is if I do loan somebody money, I assume that I won't get it back.
Yeah, I gave my niece $3,000 for her to pay for college, and she said she was gonna, you know, she got a student loan that was supposed to be coming in, and she was gonna pay me back, but like she started ignoring my calls and stuff like that. When I would ask her like, hey, you know, we're about to buy a house, you know, did you get your student loan, blah blah blah, and never heard back from her. I was like, you know what, I left her a voicemail. I was like, hey, it's your uncle. Just want to know that money that you owe me, just consider it a gift. You don't need to pay me back. Just, you know, continue paying for college and work your way through. And whenever you become a dentist, I just want I've got a couple of years of teeth cleaning for free.
Yeah, there you go.
That was it. Yeah. But yeah, that's fucking great. I really hope this becomes very successful, and we'll see you on the news channel, like, oh, the Wolfman Prophecy have saved over 2,000 veterans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hopefully we can. I think I think we got a good plan, especially after like seeing, like doing like a bunch of research, reading papers and like watching videos and news stories and all that shit. It's just like the disservice that we're doing with homeless people in general, but especially like, you know, veterans. And it's just like, yeah, we can do better. So let's we're gonna take the first step on doing better. So yeah. All right, what are we doing next?
Wait, I had a friend just text me about like Big Pun. Like, he's like, oh hey, did you know that he died? I was like, wait,
It's a long time ago.
I looked him up, and he died 22 years ago.
Yeah,
Like,
and they had to, like, didn't they have to like take like a door out or some shit because he was so big?
Some
yeah,
I don't know.
I think
I remember there was some issue with his funeral arrangements, but yeah, sure. So there's some fun stuff I guess we can talk about. What the hell? Oh, some new stuff going on. Book of Boba Fett. Did y'all watch at least last week's? I watched today's episode.
oh
Last
shit,
week's,
I didn't
yes.
watch last week.
Not today's. I watched last week's, but we can. If you didn't watch this last week's, then we can put it on.
Wait, did something major happen?
I mean,
This week or last week?
Last week. I don't think I watched because last week the last episode I saw was with the
Power Rangers
biker gang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next one
Wait,
was
what?
better. The Power Rangers.
With the Power Ranger guys. The motorcycle group.
The Vespa group. Oh, that's the last one you saw? Yeah, there's more stuff that happens. There's
Okay, I'll be on.
the
No, let's talk
episode
about
after
it.
that is mostly a flashback. So
Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about last week's.
if you haven't watched it, why would
It's all right. I don't care.
you should? Because it's cool. I'm just
We can
saying.
talk about. I gotta remember. So if you bring it up any part of the episode, then I'll probably remember.
So
That's
basically,
That's the problem with like
Basically-
the shows that air on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
It's hard because it's hard
Mm.
to remember what happened the following week when we do the podcast.
oh well, I remember because it's good. I mean, it was good
You're a
enough.
robot.
I know a lot of people were complaining, like, why are we doing flashbacks episodes? Like, what's going on? I mean, this is supposed to chronicle the time when he meets up with the Mandalorian, and this shows how he got there. It shows what happened to him when he escaped from Sarlacc, how he got basically nursed back to health, or mostly back to
That
health.
was like 2 episodes
then-
ago.
Yeah, but then how he got his ship. Pretty much, this is what that last episode was: is how he got his ship.
No, the
He was
last,
casing.
the last episode was with Finnick Shan, like how she came into his life.
Yes, but after he patched her up, they went to go get his ship, and they had to break it out of Jabba's palace.
Okay.
So after they had her weird like stomach surgery, because now her whole guts are all mechanical, they went to go break out the Slave One, which they don't call Slave One anymore. They just call it his fire spray gunship. I mean, it's a fire spray class ship, but they apparently are not going to refer to it as Slave One anymore. But it was pretty interesting seeing Fennec Shan as a badass, just like shooting everybody, doing her hand-to-hand combat stuff. It's actually pretty dope. Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
It's interesting because
Go ahead.
Mina Wing, I posted this in the group chat. She is the female Asian version of Ice Cube. Like, if you like look like in a lot of her pictures or even like a lot of her roles, she doesn't smile. She's always fucking serious. Like I think even when she did like Mulan, I don't think even her character smiled that much. But like she is always like hard, like serious. But whenever she's in a role, you know she's gonna be fucking kicking ass.
I think that's
Pretty
how,
much.
honestly, she keeps her face looking so young. It's because she doesn't
Yeah.
smile or give any facial expression. She's trying to preserve all of her skin on her face by not using any muscles.
It's awesome. Yeah, she's too busy using them to punch people in the face. It's pretty awesome.
It's hard to believe that I think she's like, I think we said before, like 56 years
Fif-
old?
58.
58?
Yes, 50.
Jesus Christ.
58.
I'm
Yeah.
not like anywhere near that when I'm 58 years old. Like, it'd be an accomplishment. 'Cause right now I'm 42. I'm okay for now. But if I go like this, you can see there's wrinkles on my forehead. If I do like the thing, the logo.
Gotta get the crow eyes.
I'm not getting the crow's eye. Crow's feet.
Crow's feet?
When did-
I'm not getting those yet.
I'm trying to look to see when did Street Fighter come out? 'Cause that was like
Man,
90s.
That came out what
99?
90? No, Street Fighter was probably like
Are you
94.
talking about live action one? Because we cannot talk about that 100%.
Yeah,
I'm
live
just saying.
action. 94.
Why are we
it came out
doing
in
that?
94.
94.
Well, no, I'm just trying to say like how long, like that was her 5th movie that she was in. Based on
Wait, she was in that?
Yeah, she's Chun Li.
Holy shit! I did not know that.
Oh, shit, you
100%
serious?
did
Yeah,
not
you
know
know,
that.
yeah.
No, did not know that.
She was. Yeah, she was Chun Li in the film.
Yeah,
Perfect casting.
I was 10 years
Perfect
old.
casting.
Yeah.
No idea.
I think in the podcast recently, I think not recently, but like a couple of years ago, we talked about that, and like I was this year's old. That she was in there.
Yeah, she's in there. Jean-Claude Van Damme. There's a couple other. Oh, I mean, I think that it was a bad casting to put Raul Julia as Bison, but
It should
It
have been
is what
somebody
it is.
way more buff. I'm just saying.
mhm,
Yeah.
way more yoked.
But also,
But-
he was a really good actor. So
Yes, unfortunately, he passed shortly after, but I
Dude,
think that's
he was-
his last film.
He was great in Addams Family. Like he was.
Yeah.
Fester. Was it Fester? Was that the
No,
father's name?
No,
he's
that's not
he's
Professor.
Gomez.
yeah.
Gomez. That's what it
Gomez.
was. Fester is the bald one. That's right. But like, there was a line from Street Fighter where his character Bison was like, "Oh, you know, that Thursday was a memorable moment for you because you know you lost your whole family or whatever not." And he's like, "For me, it was just a fucking Thursday. Like,
Yeah.
Damn, I looked up Ming-Na Wen smiling. She got a nice smile, man. Just saying. She does.
Yeah, I remember Ming-Na went in the Joy Luck Club. That was like the year before. Year before Street Fighter, and then she was in the popular show Vanishing Sun or movie Vanishing Sun before it was a TV show. So, but yeah, Street Fighter is pretty awesome because she's in the game too.
oh, the
The game, the Street Fighter the movie, like the video game where they had like
God, that game was so horrible. That game was bad.
Which game?
the Street Fighter game where they put like motion captured like they
Yeah,
make it or
for
whatever.
oh god.
Yeah, the Mortal Kombat style, and I was like, what the hell? So
Yeah.
weird. It was super weird.
That I don't know if Street Fighter is the worst video game adaptation movie or Super Mario Brothers.
No, because no. There's worse ones than that. Because like anything Dr. Uwe Boll made were terrible. Like House of the Dead was
They were really
terrible.
fucking bad. Yeah.
Yeah, House of the Dead was terrible. I saw bits and pieces of Blood Rain. In the Name of the King, terrible.
So
All those are terrible.
the reason why he made terrible movies because he made money off of the losses.
Mm-hmm.
Because
They got their money back.
Yeah, the
government
paid
paid
them
him.
back. Yeah. It's pretty
And then
fucked up.
then they passed a law to stop that, so he stopped making movies. Or at least he stopped making movies with German funding. He had to like get funding from other spots to get movies, and I'm just like, dude, just stop. Just like stick to your literature and like stop making movies, man. I remember when he would talk hella shit and he would like challenge other directors to charity boxing. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Dude, that sounds familiar. Yeah. Yeah, it's sad that this trend just continues to go on and on. Like, video games and anime, American adaptation of those just does not work. I mean, there's been a few that's been decent, but like, I think originally, like, even comic books was pretty bad, but I think Marvel and mainly Marvel has been doing a really good job at live action comic book
Ever
movies.
since Blade. Blade was the start.
Yeah. I mean, you got to put some respect on it. Back in the day, DC was making like Christopher Reeve Superman. Those were huge films. And then '89 Batman. I mean, it was so good that they brought back Keaton in like his 70s to be Batman again.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be in Batgirl.
He's going to be in Batgirl. He's going to be in the Flash film, and he's supposed to be in like I think a couple more films as Batman. So. I mean, DC kind of had the lock on the movies back in the 70s and 80s, maybe a little bit of the 90s. But
Michael Keaton as Batman, it's great. Michael Keaton as the Vulture in Spider-Man: No Way Home, or not No Way Home. What's the first one called? Homecoming. Great.
Yeah.
And I forgot where my train of thought was. Oh, and what's his name? Willem Dafoe. Great fucking villains.
yeah,
Him as the Goblin and Sam Raimi Spider-Man, fucking classic. And one thing I didn't know about is that if you go back and watch the movies, so whenever he is Osborn, what's his first name?
Norman.
Whenever he's Norman Osborn, he doesn't have a gap between his teeth. But when he's the Green Goblin, he has a gap. Like, I guess they use like a cap or whatever to fill in his gap. Whenever he's Osborn, he doesn't have a gap, but whenever he's the Green Goblin, he has the gap. Like, if you go back and watch it, it's like, are you fucking serious? Like, how did I not know this?
I had no idea, but I will tell you this bonus picture. So Michael Keaton in Birdman, which is a film about him playing a superhero named Birdman, and he wants to be taken as a serious actor, so he puts on a stage play, but yet he's still haunted by like his big blockbuster movies as a comic book hero named Birdman. I saw the film and it's super crazy. It's a really crazy film, but it's really, really fucking good. I see why he was nominated. I think Ed Why can't I think of his name? He was in The Incredible Hulk before Mark Ruffalo. Edward Norton. Edward Norton.
The other one.
So Edward Norton does a fantastic job in the film too.
I was thinking of Eric Bana.
The one after that. Yeah. So Edward Norton in the film, he's amazing as well. He does some crazy shit in that film. You want to talk about like he's basically like a young version of like Harvey Weinstein, kind of. Not as a producer, but as if he was an actor. It's super crazy. It's a crazy film.
Not the guy who touched women inappropriately and had a
he's kind of like that. He goes super like method with it. But it's a good film. It's a great film. Highly recommend. It took me a while to finally watch it, but it was so good.
I forgot about that movie. I mean, it's on my list to watch because it did really well and like Michael Keaton. Plus, like every time I think of Birdman, I always think of like the
rapper.
No, fuck that guy. No, the animation, the cartoon,
Harvey Birdman.
But then, there's Harvey Birdman, but then there's like the actual like old school Hanna-Barbera cartoon.
Oh yeah, same.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I highly recommend you watch Birdman because it was really good.
Dude, one movie, since we're talking about movies, one movie I recommend not to watch is There Will Be Carnage, the Venom 2 movie. Oh, God. I watched it last
Did you
night.
watch it?
Yeah, man.
Man.
That shit was... It's funny because, like, the sweetness was kind of, like, watching it, like, she was working, but she was, like, look up and stuff like that. And she was like, I wanted to watch this movie, but, like, every time I looked up, it was just garbage. Like... It was, other than the fight scenes were really good. Like the fight between the symbiotes was cool, but it was pretty much just a wash and repeat of the first one. Because you got the badass symbiote and Venom is like the weakest one, and he's able to overcome it. Where you got the red symbiote, yeah. Overall, I don't know. I wasn't feeling it. Even though San Francisco is the stage, just didn't do anything. Like the first one didn't do much for me either. The second one, it was just kind of bad.
It was funny to me because I guess the Cletus's girlfriend, I guess she's like she's a mutant, I guess, but they can't say mutant. And I was like, what the hell is this chick? Because she had some crazy ass powers.
Yeah,
like, is a chick a mutant? And they kept implying that she was a mutant, but without saying mutant. I'm like, what the hell's happening with this chick? And then like, it's funny to me because Prodigy, he keeps standing for this film, but he hasn't seen it. He hasn't seen it. He keeps talking about how much money it's made and how it bodied all the other comic book movies. I'm like, dude, this movie's terrible. I'm all, have you seen this film? And he keeps like roundabouting. I'm all, just say you haven't seen it. Stop trying to like say it made so much money and it was one of the top 5 films of 2021. Just say you haven't seen it.
The last Transformer movie made hella money too, and that was
terrible. That was terrible, and I paid to see it.
Bumblebee was a really great movie. Bumblebee was like
the one before that.
It was like the Dark Knight or something like that.
The Last Night. That was terrible. It was a terrible film. Terrible.
I was going back to Titanic. Titanic was a fucking terrible movie. It made the most amount of money up until that time. It was like $1 billion. And it was fucking terrible. Like, we all knew how it ended. People still watched it. Oh, it was a love story. The love story was fucking trash, too. Okay? I don't give a shit about the movie was not good. And people just flocked to that movie.
I love it. I saw it 7 times in theater.
I saw it twice, and I was like, this movie's damn near 3 hours long. This is the last time I'm seeing this.
Yeah, fuck all.
I remember watching it. All these girls kept crying. They're like, oh, my God. I'm like, dude, seriously? You already know what's going to happen. You know almost everybody dies.
Well, it's funny because like when it came out on VHS, if you're young, VH means video home system?
I believe so, yeah. I think you're right.
Yeah. But anyways, when it came out on tape, is what we called it. When it came out on tape. Not CD, DVD, or Blu-ray. It came out on tape.
And people still call old people still call it tapes too, which is embarrassing. Old people still call them, I've got it on tape. No, the fuck you don't. You have it on video. You don't have it on fucking tape. Stop saying tape. Like all these fucking old people, especially like in Congress and in the fucking government, they'll say, "Well, we have it on tape." You don't have it on fucking tape, bitch. You don't.
You know what? I'm willing to bet they still use Betamax in Congress.
No, they don't.
Well, you know, I wonder if like we're kind of tight, Strode.
I'm telling you, they do not. They don't use tapes anymore. They use tapes for backups. That's about it. Maybe backups, like LTO tapes, but that's just for backups. Everything else is digital. They don't even put shit on DVDs and CDs anymore for backups. It's all just digital.
I wonder. I would like to know how much. I guess if you do the math, how much data does a tape hold, and would a tape be able to hold like a 5-minute YouTube video? Like what was that? Probably like 3 tapes.
Well, so the old VHS tapes, they were low fidelity, right? So they're gonna hold like what 360p. So
yeah.
They're not holding like a decent YouTube video. They're gonna hold it at like some shitty fidelity for like whatever the tape says how long it'll be. You can't cram in extra pixels into an old school VHS tape. It's like saying like how long would a DVD, how much data could a DVD, or how much video could a DVD hold from a Blu-ray? Well, it can't, because a Blu-ray can't hold
magnitude more.
That makes sense. Yeah.
But I guess technically it can from like from the data side. You probably could, but it's still.
Well, yeah, I was kind of just thinking of it as data storage versus not so much as visually be able to watch it.
Yeah, but
because
it's analog. So
yeah, well, because like back in the day when like we would have when we would install games that came on a floppy disk.
Oh my God! You realize you got like 13 floppy disks for like maybe 200 megs.
I was gonna say 20. I think
there's some versions of Windows that were like that. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of games that had, and they would be numbered like you had to pop one in and wait like half an hour and then come back to your computer and have to stick in the next one.
Another one, yeah. It would sit there and wait too, be blinking with the cursor.
Yeah,
waiting for the next day. Yeah. So I have Unreal Tournament 2004.
It's a great game.
You know how many discs it took to install? And these are they're CDs.
Wasn't it 3? Huh? Wasn't it 3?
7.
What the fuck?
I have them. They're literally behind me over here. It's 7 discs.
I think I had it.
And I think I'm missing one.
I think I had it on DVD. I think it was like 2 or 3 maybe.
Yeah, I didn't have a DVD player. I had a CD player, so it took 7 CD discs to install the game.
Well, so the whole reason why we even talk about this is that with the Titanic, when it was released for home theater systems, it was 2 tapes. So even when you rented from Blockbuster,
it
2 tape rentals
because it's like a 3-hour film. It's like a 2.5-hour film.
Well, like, dude, if you rented from Blockbuster and you go to watch it, like, okay, the first tape would be rewound, but the second tape wouldn't be, and you had like sit there and rewind that motherfucker.
Well, you know what's crazy? Hold on. Keep that thought, okay? This for the younger generation. When we used to rent videos that were on VHS, if you returned it, you didn't rewind it, there was a fucking fee. There was a fee if you didn't rewind the tape.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
you know why? Because they literally had they had to have someone. Yeah, they had to have someone put them in the rewinder. Like there's literally like it was just like this contraption. You slide the tape in and you slam it down and it would just rewind the tape. But you have to have someone there and manually do it, and they had to pay someone to do it. So in order to try to cut that out, they would move that charge to the customer.
But wait, so what's so crazy is that like places will sell a device just to rewind tapes. Like it was always like it always was in a car shape. I don't know why. Like it was always a car. I mean, like you put a tape in a car and it drops.
You want it festive. Yeah, you want it festive. You want it to, match your decorum.
So if you wonder like how do the people at Blockbuster know that the tape's not rewind? They literally will be a sticker over like half of the tape that if the tape is rewound, then if you look at a VHS tape, there's 2 windows that shows 2 of the wheels of the VH. If it's rewound, most of the tape will be on the I'm gonna say left side. It'll be on the left side.
Yeah,
and
it goes
usually
from left to right.
Blockbusters or whatever will have like a tape over there. So if the right window is clear, then they know that the tape's rewound. Rewind it? Well, I don't know. But if most of the tape is on the right side, then they know it's not rewound, and they'll just type it in and charge you a
your account
rewind fee. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think a good movie for you to check out if you don't know about the whole VHS and rewind and stuff like that. You should check out Be Kind Rewind with Mos Def and Jack Black, I think.
Yeah, I've never seen this movie, but I heard it's hilarious.
It's pretty fucking funny. Yeah, it's pretty fucking funny.
All right.
We took it back.
Yeah, speaking of tapes and stuff, there's this show on Netflix. It's a series. It's about 10 episodes. It's called Archive 81. And the premise of the film is about a guy who restores tapes. So he recovered this big conglomerate company. They hired this guy to restore VHS and home video cassette tapes. So he literally puts them in new housing and like goes through magnetic tapes and like rebuilds them, and then he's supposed to watch them. They don't really make it clear, but he's supposed to convert them to digital, which he does. But while he's doing it, he's watching them. And while he's watching them, he's watching this woman investigate this old building in his neighborhood, and something weird is going on. And so he gets invested in this, and then he finds out that he is partially involved in it. So he's super invested now. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. And then the further he gets in, he realizes that the company that put him up to it has some kind of investment into this whole mystery that's going on. So you're watching this man watch the tapes from 1994, which is super weird, about this woman chronicling what this weird circumstance is happening in this old building. It was just it's kind of advertised as a horror show, but there's like almost very little blood, and there's not really any creatures in it or anything. It's more of a thriller. It's more of like this crazy little thriller, but it's. Go ahead, Crumbs.
What was the name of the show again?
It's called Archive 81.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it involves like this man trying to basically solve a murder, or not a murder, solve weird happenstances that happened in 1994, and he gets super invested in it. And so like his world starts to kind of unravel as he's watching more and more of these tapes and trying to figure out what happened to this woman. It was super engaging. Like the first episode, I was super like drawn in. I was like, oh, because I like a good mystery, and this gives you that. This gives you a mystery that may have you questioning, is this a supernatural happenstance? Is this aliens? Or is this just like people doing weird stuff and there's going to be some like guy behind the mirror type thing? And so you don't know. So you have to keep watching to try to figure out the clues, because he kind of watches some of the tapes out of order based on the damage. And then he realizes that the people he works for are hiding stuff from him. So he starts kind of investigating on two fronts, and it's all linked to these tapes. So it's on Netflix right now. I highly encourage it. It's actually not scary. It's more just like a good thriller, good mystery thriller, but it has like these weird, like supernatural, possibly like alien-esque tones to it. It's done really well. It's executive produced by James Wan. Even though I didn't like Malignant, this is a good like makeup for that movie.
Oh, sounds good. Yeah, I saw it on the on Netflix in the top 10. I kind of want to check it out, but since you get a recommendation, I'll probably check it out on my own, because I don't think it's something that K-Mac is into.
K-Mac?
Yeah. But
Crystal Light?
Yeah.
Crystal Hot Sauce?
Hey, Crystal Hot Sauce is good.
Right now we're watching
Midnight.
We're watching Midnight in Asia on Netflix right now, which is really good.
Wait, is it Midnight Madness or Midnight
in Asia?
Is that on Netflix as well?
Yeah, it's about like the nightlife in certain Asian countries. In certain Asian cities, about like the food culture and the alcohol culture and just like the whole nightlife culture, and in certain cities. And it's honestly, I think it's fascinating because I love going to Asia when I was there. I think it's really cool, and like see like the nightlife scene in like parts of Japan and I think it was the Philippines in there too. I know Thailand is one. Is the next one. There's a bunch of like cities that are on there that are really cool to like check out.
Did they do Seoul, Korea?
They did Korea, yeah. Korea was one of them.
Yeah, so I had friends that went in 2018 or 2019, and they were explaining to me that like 7-Eleven out there is a whole different entity than it is out here. Like 7-Eleven in Seoul, Korea is like the place to be for like after hours and like they party hard. They're partying till like 6 a.m. at a 7-Eleven. I'm like, what? Like, yeah, you don't understand. It's totally different out there. It was really interesting because they do like karaoke and stuff at 7-Eleven. I'm like, what the hell is happening out there?
Yeah, I remember when I was going to when I was in Singapore, I went to like it was a really interesting country because it's like super clean, and then like you drive around and like everything's clean, and then you go to like the malls, and the malls like everybody's at the mall, and the malls are large, like very large, multi-tiered. You're walking through the malls, and then as a young Marine at the time, I was like, all right, like where are we gonna party tonight? Like where are we gonna hang out and like get some drinks? And then you literally go to the same fucking mall, and like magic, like the malls would like I don't know between stores would like expand into like these clubs, and like there'll be clubs like legit clubs in these malls. And I remember at the time I was like, this is so fucking weird, but it was like a lot of fun because like it was safe, it was clean, you can get a lot of drinks, a lot of hookers that you didn't know were hookers. So
you ran into some live action food out there. Huh?
I mean, I didn't. Well, maybe I was, at the time I was newly married, so I was like, trying to hold it down.
But how did you know? No.
Oh man.
No,
probably got stories.
What was the name of the show again? Because like the sweetness she's been wanting to go to Japan. I'm like, you want to go to Japan?
I think it's Midnight in Asia, I believe it's called. Let me just look it up real quick.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure it's called Midnight in Asia, and it's like a bunch of different cities in Asia talking about their nightlife, and some of them are like really fascinating because like one was like this older couple that had like this nighttime like sort of like street restaurant, and yeah, they were like probably in like 60s or 70s. And like running this restaurant like super late at night, and it was just like super interesting. Midnight.
So the whole like the Swedes want to go to Japan. The way I made it sound like makes it sound like I don't want to go. Oh no, I would love to go to Japan. I've been to Japan 3 times, and I've had an amazing fucking time.
Yeah.
It's just that, Japan.
You don't want to tell them.
I like anime, manga. And
Asian chicks?
Video games in there. Yeah. I can't say that out loud.
That's the part you left off.
Damn.
It's all good though. You're married to her. You're married to her.
Yeah, I'm married. Yeah, I'm very married. Yeah, Japan. It's Japan's an amazing country. Like it's so organized. Like at least the parts I went to, like you go into McDonald's, everybody's wearing the same uniform. All the females' hairstyles are the same. Like it's so perfectly uniformed, and like they greet you properly, and not properly. They greet you like, oh hey, how you doing? What can I help you with? And they want to make sure that you're like happy. Where like here in America, it's like, yo man, our ice cream machine's broken. we got that shit for you.
Damn.
But yeah. But kind of jumping back to the whole VHS, I know Odin was talking about how like there's a show on Netflix, because actually VHS has a really interesting shelf life. Like apparently they last like 10 to 30 years. So there's a lot of VHS tapes out there that are disintegrating.
Same thing with CDs. If y'all didn't know that, CDs have a shelf life too.
CD.
Yep.
But even hard drives.
Yes, especially hard disk drives. They all have shelf lives.
Yeah, but well, I don't know. I run RAID arrays, so
yeah,
it's a little better.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting, and I think it was the Batman. It was one of the animated series, not the original animated series, but the Batman. I think it was on CW, not CW, like CW Kids is what it was on, and I guess the Batman had came up with a cure for the freeze, Mr. Freeze. Gotta say his name right. and he knew that data would be corrupted and like it would like disintegrate. So inside of the Batcave, he had it etched into the walls, which I guess even stone would fucking disintegrate if it's in a moistured environment. But I think the Batcave is pretty dry in there. But yeah, anyways, so they were able to cure Mr. Freeze, but it's just mainly because like data, not that it corrupted, decays and stuff like that. I just thought that was really interesting.
Over time, and it's like it's interesting because I'm in the data storage field, and I've seen hard drives fail in spectacular ways. Like there are certain hard drives out there, so like the spinning disk kind, the actual hard drives, not SSDs. I've seen issues where like it's how do I put it? Multiple batches of hard drives had this issue where so an actual hard drive is like it's like basically like a tiny record where it's spinning around and there's like a magnetic head that reads off of it, spinning at like very high speeds. So when you see like for a hard drive when it says like 7200 RPMs, that's how fast the actual disk is spinning around, 7200 RPM. So it's pretty quick. But there's like a head that reads off of that reads off the magnetic pieces off that hard drive. But there's like an actuator that moves the little needle around, like up and down and stuff. And inside that hard drive, there's like a tiny little bit of lubricant. And there was, I'm not going to say which vendor, but there was a vendor where the lubrication in that would like spray on the hard drive, and that would just destroy all the data.
Damn.
Yeah, and it was just, and there's like really no coming back from that shit. It's like your shit's fucked. Yeah.
You ever have the ones where their arm fucks up and actually like scrapes the fucking disc?
And you can
oh my god, I've actually heard that sound. I'm like, what the hell is that? And then like open it up and there's like this ring around the fucking disc. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? It's terrible. Ugh.
What's cool if you can get your hand on like an old like hard drive and you're able to crack that open. Those little discs are fucking cool looking. Like,
yeah.
And the magnets are really strong.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
they can fuck some shit up too.
All right. Who wants to talk about this Metacomica? What is this?
I can, because it's actually from another friend of the podcast. So I'll have another podcast with pretty soon, Black and Yellow, and it is Bunnyman. So Bunnyman went ahead and started his own comic book company.
We touched on this a little bit. So wait, like publishing company or like comic book store? Because I know he was doing the whole comic book store thingy.
Publishing. So.
Oh shit.
Which is funny because like the first comic that they're doing, I'm actually one of the characters is based on me, so it's kind of cool. It's not obviously it's not totally me, but it's loosely based on me, so I think it's pretty cool. It's gonna be they're looking for artists, and they're actually gonna get into NFTs as well, to start selling digital art on the internet. So I think it's gonna be really cool. I want him to come on a podcast with me, hopefully within the next 2 weeks. Talk about this because I know a little bit about NFTs, but I need to. There's a disconnect in my brain. I'm like, well, how is this valuable? So I want him to like kind of explain to me like how it's valuable and like over time. So I sort of get it, but I need I'm missing that connection. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about Metacomica. And I think it's a really cool thing for him to do because he's an artist, and to see him like sort of expanding is really cool. Like he just hit me up one day. He's like, because he's been talking about doing like a certain comic with like me as like one of the characters it's based off of for like a while. He's been sending me like all this artwork and stuff. I was like, oh, shit, that's really cool. And to see him like keep running with it and like starting his own comic book company is it's fucking dope. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to to talking with him about it.
Bunnyman's always looking for, like that's the I think that's the mentality of a director. This guy is always looking forward. Like he's always looking for new things and this and that. Because I know he had an original idea where people can donate comics for like the less fortunate, and that was I want to say that was pretty successful. But then like he was also doing like work with like the Warriors. Like he was making commercials and stuff like that.
Still making that one. Yeah.
But like you know. doing like having like a comic book company, not a comic, like doing. I guess having a comic book company like that's livelihood work right there. Like that's fucking pretty dope.
Yeah.
And quick little shout out to Bunnyman and I was lucky enough to be in one of his videos. Like he used my car. We did a photo shoot at one of his for one of his projects, which was fucking cool. Like I literally debadged my T35 for his video. I was like, you know what? I've been wanting to do this my whole entire life. I debadged my T35, and like he said, I need somebody with a black car with tinted windows. I was like, check, and it was really cool because like the whole video was basically the imagination of a kid. So my car was the bad guy's car, and I was chasing after somebody else. And dude, it was fun. Like we were driving through like parts of Oakland, and it just basically turns out that like this little kid just playing with his cars, and like it was pretty cool. But like Bunnyman, like this guy is like he's constantly thinking forward. Like he's always thinking of like the next thing, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, he's a good dude. I haven't seen him in a while. Like last time we saw each other was like kind of in passing at a comic shop. So
right on. Well, good for Bunnyman. Hopefully he comes on the cast to talk about his Metacomica.
We're probably gonna do it like on like an off time. It won't be like a normal podcast. So
yeah. I mean, what's really cool is that if you ever been to some of the none of the Comic Cons in the area, there's like smaller ones. I think like there's like Oakland has one that's like a black theme one. That one's pretty cool to check out. But like there's a lot of good artists in the Bay Area who just doesn't have the representation of like a big company to be able to do some of the larger cons.
Yeah.
Because I believe that anybody who like if you do like if you set up a booth at a Comic Con, you have to pay for it. Like that's just not fucking free. And to just to try to get your work out there, it's just money. It's all about money. So if you have like a company that can kind of back you up and kind of get you up and running, it's very helpful.
Mm-hmm. What was I gonna ask here? Oh, Blue. Kind of gonna put you on the spot. Did you get a chance to watch this Injustice animated movie?
No, I have not, because I literally learned about it today when you were talking about it. And I'm the one that brought to the cast the whole comic book series.
Great comic.
That's based off the video game.
Mm-hmm.
Have you had a chance to watch it?
I watched 90%
of it. What's your non-spoiler initial review of this?
No, my initial review is this should have been a series and not just a single standalone film. Because there's a lot of stuff that's like left out when you compare it to the comics. The comics had like these huge, epic like events that leads up to where the game is at when you play the game Injustice. When you watch the film, like there's only bits and pieces of it, and they move some stuff around. Like certain characters die, and other characters kind of take their place versus what was in the comics. So I'm like, why would you do this? This is kind of weird, but whatever, I guess. And then like, there's a scene in the film where there's supposed to be a divisive moment where the heroes are supposed to pick sides. You're either with Batman or you're with Superman. And it's kind of weird because it's like most of them kind of choose Batman, and I'm like, well, this in the comics there's more people kind of involved, and like some of the characters that don't get on board with Superman, he just ends them. And I mean, don't get me wrong, there are some in the film that they do get ended, but there are certain things that are like key moments in the comics are completely changed in the film. Ones that are like pretty significant, and then other ones like huge storylines are completely gone, mainly because of time constraints. So I'm just like, it's still okay, but there are certain things that don't sit well with me. I'm like, mainly because their impact feels less. And I didn't get a chance to finish the comic. I was like on the last like stretch of it, like after they left the Tower of Fate. but like it's just, I mean, it's kind of there, but I guess they kind of don't want to put Superman in a bad light, I guess, in the film, but they kind of do, and they kind of like don't go all the way there as they do in the comics. There is a point in the film where Superman goes like completely off the rails, but then they all kind of come back together. So I'm just like, it just doesn't have the stakes that I remember reading about. In the comic. I mean, compared to the other DC animated stuff, it's just okay.
Yeah,
it's not terrible. It's just like I'm just whelmed.
Like honestly, when they released the trailer for this and said it was going to be a movie, I was like, okay, this is not going to be anything like the comics, just because there's no way. Because I think the Injustice Gods Among Us is the name of the comic. It spans
the game as well.
Yeah, it spans 5 years, and there's no way you can span. They should have, if they'd have made this a series, this would have been gangbusters. Like it would have been okay, dude, this is so fucking good. But like, for you to spit 5 years of material into an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours max.
No, it's an hour. It's an hour and 18 minutes.
No, there's no fucking way. I wanted to watch this, and I have a lot of the DC movies, the animated movies. I'll go out there and buy them because I want to support the animated series. But this one, like, I was like, no, this won't work. But then also, like, if you go onto YouTube, like, you can see all the cutscenes from the Injustice video game, and it kind of pulls it brings the story together. But
remember, the comics are 5 years before the events of the game.
Yeah,
and so it's just kind of, it's supposed to be in a state where basically Batman becomes very desperate, and he ends up doing something that changes the course of what's been happening. Right. But yeah, like you said, it's there's too much. If you enjoyed the comic, there's too much that they leave out that made it so great, the story so great overall. I mean, don't get me wrong, the film, it's not terrible. It's just not. It just feels incomplete. Yeah. I mean, I'm at the point where like there's resolution, but it just doesn't feel as. It doesn't feel as epic as the comic was. This could have been, if this was a 5-part series where you do each year, as the comics do, this would have been amazing. This would have been like the best series ever.
Well, like even with like the Batman movies, like with I can't think of the order, but like there was like Batman versus Robin, whereas Batman versus what was it called? Batman and
there's Justice League versus Teen Titans.
No, the mainly just focusing on like the Batman franchise, because there was Batman versus Sun, and there's Under the Red Hood. There's a lot of the Batman animated series. They all connect together, like they all like fed off each other, and that's something they could have done with this. Even though I haven't seen it, but I know how, based on what Odin is saying, like they could have built this out to make it something major. They should have broke this off into like 5-part series, and every movie had like a year of the comic books that it kind of talked about, because
the comic books lasted for a long time.
Oh yes, and I don't even think they expected the comic books to last that long, just because they grew in proper. Like every time we did a comic book panel, I gotta bring up Injustice, because that shit was just like the number one comic I was reading at the time. But yeah, like if you played the video game, like a lot of the cutscenes were there, but then like with the comic book, it was so well done. But they also I was gonna say that and Justice League Unlimited, either Justice League Unlimited or just regular Justice League, they did a whole kind of similar Injustice theme where they had it wasn't Injustice, it was called it was on the tip of my tongue, Justice Lords. They did Justice Lords where they had like, you know, where Superman becomes like, you know,
he's Ultraman, right?
No, that was an alternate universe. It's basically where Lois Lane, no, she doesn't die because he's still a controller. something happened, but like Superman just becomes like over fucking powered, and like he wants everybody to follow his will.
Yeah, wasn't
And
he like Ultraman? Doesn't he have the U on his chest and
no,
like?
he has a black and white suit. Let me see if I can find it.
I don't remember that one, but yeah, there
Like,
is one.
No, what
I
happened?
mean,
No. So what happened is Lex Luthor kills the Flash, and Lex Luthor becomes the president when it happens, or he's the president when it happens, and that's when Superman starts lobotomizing fucking people, and he decides like, you know what, we're basically gods. We should be controlling everybody, and like Batman, his whole wardrobe changed. Hot girl, her wardrobe. Wonder Woman. Let me see, I'll pull up a picture real quick and I'll show it to everybody. But
like when Justice Lords came in, because when Superman came in and Doomsday attacked, he just like lobotomized him. He's like, look at this little bitch.
yeah,
Go back into basically Arkham Light with all these other former super criminals that I also lobotomized.
yeah, it's all bad. Yeah, I mean, there is. I mean, Kingdom Come is where Lois dies, but I don't remember if she was killed. Oh, she is killed in a bomb. She's like killed in a bomb,
no,
but
I was gonna. She's the reason why Injustice God Among Us happened, because the fucking Joker literally he uses poison ivy's stuff to, or no,
he uses Scarecrow's fear toxin, mixes it with kryptonite, so it penetrates Superman's like nervous system. So when he sees Lois, he sees Doomsday.
Yeah, and he fucking flies her up to space. And what's so fucked, like, if you read the comics, even if you play the video games, like, it's literally, sorry, fucking huge spoiler alert, Superman kills Lois, but literally earlier that day, he learns that she is pregnant with their kid. Like, he's literally waking up in the morning, and he's like, wait, I hear a second heartbeat. Like, what the fuck? And she's like, oh, I was gonna tell you. He's like, I'm fucking Superman. Like, I got X-ray vision. I would have known. But let's see if I can pull up this image real quick. So this is the Justice Lords.
Yeah, I mean, you got to pinpoint the other part where. Yeah. Oh, I vaguely remember this.
So Hot Girl, she's kind of different. Even the Martian Manhunter is different. But like, actually, I think I got the Batman figurine for the Justice Lord. Like, I literally scoured the planet for that. Let's see if I can pull it real quick.
Remember how good Justice League and the JLU was like back in the day? It was so good. Like the whole series, it was fantastic.
It was good. It was crazy to me because they had a shit ton of characters. I was just like, how do y'all keep track of all these goddamn characters? Like, they just came out of nowhere. Like, they had the fucking cowboy. I don't remember what his name was, but he had like some weird powers. Yeah, he was up in there. They had they had Huntress and the Question. Like, she hated him, but over time they had like their B story where they end up becoming a couple.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell? I mean, in the comics, apparently that happens because when the Question dies, Huntress becomes the Question. So I was like, oh, well, I guess they're kind of following that. And then there's like when part of the Justice League get trapped in the 50s, so they meet the Justice Society. And like one of the guys that's there, he talks to John Stewart. He's like, oh, you're a credit to your people, son. John Stewart's just like, okay. And then same, like slightly different group, they end up going to the future, and John Stewart meets his son because it looks like him but just more yoked, and he has wings, so he pretty much knows that him and Hot Girl have a kid. But then when they come back, he alters the future by like breaking up with her. It was like what the fuck? Like, you see that you're gonna have a son, he's like, nah, I can't do this no more. I saw what happens. I was like, what the hell? And then he ends up hooking up with Vixen.
I gotta jump back in real quick. So sorry to cut you off, but I like walked away. But like for that scene when they go to the future, so they kind of they meet up with they end up in the world of Batman Beyond, which is fucking cool. But Batman is part of that group that goes to the future. So future Batman, or future Bruce Wayne, who's old and decrepit or whatever. But we have Batman Beyond, and old school fucking Batman, they meet for the fucking first time, and like they interrogate a guy, and like it's funny because Batman goes to and try to interrogate him. He's like, "Oh, I don't, blah 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 blah." But then Bruce Wayne goes to interrogate the guy, and the guy's like spilling his fucking guts, like just the way that Batman, like his whole what's it called, like his interrogating style just changed. It's because it becomes more harder at the order he got, but like he was able to get this information out to guys, and it's so funny because like younger Batman was like what did you say to him? And he's like, "Oh, you do not want to know." It's like, holy shit.
Oh
like,
yeah, I remember that.
cool.
Yeah, I remember that episode. That was a good episode though, because they're trying to figure out to go back, but they see what happens with, and like you see Static Shock as a full member of the Justice League, and I remember everyone's all excited. Oh, Static Shock's going to be a Justice League member. I'm like, yeah, when he's like 25. I keep forgetting he's a teenager, like on his show, and like people were freaking out about Static Shock being on the Justice League Unlimited episode. So there's a lot of crazy stuff in there, a lot of crazy team ups too. It was good though.
Yeah, it's great.
When he was on Static Shock was in the episode of Justice League Unlimited, dude, he was like in his 40s.
Was he? I'm pretty sure he was in his 40s.
Dude, he had gray hair. Like he was an old ass guy. He was like the youngest person on the fucking team.
Are you sure that wasn't Black Lightning?
No, it was definitely Static Shock because he had dreads.
So
let me see if I can look it up real quick.
I think Jefferson ends up with dreads at one point.
No, this is in the future. like Batman's old as fuck. Just leave.
Yeah, more important comic book news after you find that.
Okay, here it is. I'll pull it real quick. Share my screen.
This is for people who are watching the video on YouTube.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to this on SoundCloud or whatever audio device you're looking at.
This is.
That's like Batman Beyond almost. Yeah, it is. Batman
it's from Batman Beyond or Batman. No, it's from Justice League Unlimited. It's when they go to the future. Yeah. Because their face.
Yeah, so right there.
Old ass
guy. Look at the one to your left, not that one. The one to your left, that one. That's where Static Shock and Batman.
So this is from an earlier episode, but this isn't the same as when they go to the future. Because when they go to the future, Static Shock is part of the Justice League. Mm-hmm. Versus when they're here, they meet the Justice League. And then like here we go. So this is we got Batman Beyond. We got Hawkman. Oh no, Hawk.
He's a hybrid. That's the son of John Stewart.
Yeah, that's the son of John Stewart and Hawk Girl. We got Static Shock. We got old Bruce Wayne, and then we got John Stewart. Green Lantern. And he even still has like it's not one with him with the disc.
He's running like a JLU like thing, the Justice League fucking token or whatever.
Yeah. When they're starting to wear rings and stuff. So before you go into your super comic book news, Cronus, got a question for you, comic book related, because I know you're reading the current DC storyline, the future state.
Most of it, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, what do you feel about? I guess the major publishing outlets are already talking about how the Justice League is going to die in like 3 months.
I mean, it's okay. I mean, so they've already sort of replaced Batman, sort of. I mean, there's basically two Batmen at this point in time. There's Lucius Fox's son, Jace, who's I'm pretty sure it's Jace. He goes by two names. It's Jace or Tim. So
it's not Luke.
No, well, I mean, he's Batman. Mm-hmm. So that's been an interesting storyline because he's been being Batman for like the longest time, but he had like his face was covered, like his whole face, including like his mouth, so they couldn't see he was black. And that became a whole thing when they actually uncovered that he is black. Somebody broke his cowl. It's actually a really good storyline.
But wait, so Luke isn't involved in this at all? Like Batwing, basically.
No. He's not in the I Am Batman storyline. Who's like the new Batman. I'm pretty sure it's Jace Fox.
But isn't Luke Robin?
No. Well, I doubt it. He's been Batwing. Why would he go to Robin?
No,
I think
Luke
Robin
was originally a Robin.
No, I mean Jace basically he's picking up the mantle as Batman. So this is after if y'all are not caught up with the comics. After the Joker Wars, Joker basically robbed Bruce Wayne of all his money.
Holy shit.
So he got fucked. And the whole Joker War happened. A whole bunch of crazy shit happened. And so after, Batman sorted all of it out, I will give no spoilers on that part, but what was that?
Blue just broke something.
Oh. Anyway.
So
after the Joker Wars got sorted out, Bruce Wayne decided that, maybe he shouldn't have all of his money. And so he decided to give his money to, I think it's Lucius Fox, right? That's his name? Lucius?
Yeah, Lucius Fox is like his tech guy.
Yeah.
With his son being Batwing, and I guess he has another son.
He has a couple sons and a daughter, and there's like a lot of
he's the guy in the
there.
chair.
Yeah, so they're doing like a bunch of storylines with the Fox family. But yeah, so he decides to give his entire fortune to Lucius Fox. And so with that, Jace, who was in the military and he used to be sort of like an assassin, he decides to become like the next Batman. Even though Batman still technically exists, but it's Batman that exists with basically no money. So he doesn't have any of the normal Batman resources. So it's been a great storyline. So anyway, wrapping it back to like if the Justice League dies, they have already replaced who Bruce Wayne would be. But at the same time, Jace Batman is going to New York. He's not going to stay in
Gotham.
Yeah. So he decided after he got kind of revealed as like a black guy, he's like, you know what? I'm just going to go to New York. So
interesting. Yeah. So the publication of I guess the name of the comic is The Justice League is Dead, where like the legacy heroes will die. It coincides with the anniversary of the death of Superman. It'll be like the 25th anniversary on the date of shipment or the date of sale. So it's supposed to be like, I guess, Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman, one of the Green Lanterns, and I think Martian Man, or one of the Hawk Girl, and I think Martian Manhunter. They all get killed in some event that's coming up. But they've already shown like the covers and the variant covers, and production date. They kind of hinted at like the story kind of, but I'm just like, well, why would you already?
I mean, I'm thinking about it, but like the vast majority of them already have semi-replacements. I don't think they're going to be dead if they're dead at all for a long time. Like you already have different Green Lanterns. You already have different Wonder Women. There's a whole bunch of different ones now. One from Amazon, one from Africa.
Every continent has their own Wonder Woman now.
Yeah.
I feel like
there's no new Martian Manhunter that I know of. Who else is in the Justice League? I mean,
I know that there's what was the other one? Obviously Superman. I mean, Superman has his son as Superman.
Yeah, Superman's already gone, so like his son's there, which people are up in arms because he's bi. I'm like, I don't really give a fuck.
What about? Is there a new Flash? Because I mean, we got Barry.
Three Flashes, isn't there?
Yeah, but I actually don't read any of the Flash comics anymore because I was so far behind. I actually got really far behind on Wonder Woman as well, but the newer Wonder Women I have a few of, like Yara. I have her comics still. I'm reading those, and Nubia. I have a couple of hers. But as far as like Diana, I don't have. I stopped reading those because I was so far behind. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and then who else? Actually, you can actually look up the covers and the variant covers of it because this comes out in April.
Covers out for a comic in April? That's fucking weird as shit.
Yeah, but that was my point. Like you're talking like major outlets, like including Entertainment Weekly, I think Forbes, even Screen Rant, comicbook.com, all of them are talking about, the death of the Justice League. Even though one of the covers is like a shit ton of Justice Leaguers with like the caskets of some of the Justice League that died. So I'm like, what the hell?
I don't understand why they do this. They need to start giving respect.
Money?
I mean, it's not even money though. It's because they're not getting. Every single time these news outlets do this, it makes me not want to read any of their stories anymore because they spoil the shit out of these things. And I mean, a cover isn't as bad, but I can guarantee you every single one of these news outlets that broke the cover first, they're gonna fucking spoil it. They're gonna spoil it before the comic even comes out. Like what happens?
Yeah.
And they're gonna put it in the fucking headline, and it's gonna be super irritating. And they don't do it for any other sort of medium. And it's so irritating because people read comics. I'm one of them. And when you do something like this, it makes me block literally anything that's coming out of your news outlet. So fuck you, all of you that do that.
And
the other one who dies is Aquaman. Aquaman dies, even though they have Aqualad, I guess.
Well, kind of jump back to what Carlos was saying. Like, these news outlet has been spoiling like a lot of fucking comic books lately. Like you literally have to block them out of your You can be scrolling to your feed. Well, one good source is comicbook.com. Like those guys, they're pretty good at not spoiling stuff. But
but they're one of the ones part of this whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're the ones. That's how I first saw it. They posted one of the variant covers about like if you literally Google Justice League is dead, the top 3 Screen Rant, comicbook.com, and like some what's this other one?
Yeah, so let me just rewind a little bit. This one isn't as egregious because in the name we're going to assume that they're going to be dead, right? So this one isn't as bad. But there's other ones that Blue's bringing up that are totally valid. Oh, yeah. Where they're go ahead, Blue. Tell the rest of your.
But no, like actual fucking like news outlet, like your local news or something like that, or even like your local paper with fucking just in the title of like, oh, Batman dies, Superman dies, Wonder Woman dies. Read the rest of the article to find out who else dies. Whereas with the other ones, like the name of the comic is called "The Death of the Justice League," and like you have to literally go into it and be like, oh, this is what's happening. Like they go into a backstory. They'll lead you up into the story to what's going on, but they won't tell you like how they fucking die.
Yeah, let me give you a perfect example. This is perfect because I remember this specifically because it was sort of recent when it came to the Son of Superman. Because they fucked this up on 2 things. First of all, they said that Superman is now gay or bi, and first of all, Superman is not bi. Because if you tell any layman that Superman, if you ask them who Superman is, they're going to say Clark Kent, right? They're not going to say his son Jonathan because they don't read comics. So that was the first fuck up. And second of all, when they broke that he was bi, they broke it days before the comic came out, where it came out that he was actually bi. Days before the comic even came out, and it was a comic that I was actually reading. And I was like,
but
what the fuck?
Superman they were talking about.
Like, yeah, it wasn't Superman. I mean, he's called Superman now, but it's his son. It's Jonathan Kent, not Clark Kent. And the story was leading up to that guy probably being bi, but I would have much rather have read the comic and been, read the storyline rather than some asshole fucking journalist spoiling it for me by saying, oh, he's bi, and this is who he's bi with. It's like, fucking thanks, you assholes. Like, I'm trying to enjoy this comic book, and you just fucked that all up for me. But then, I mean, the question is, how did they get the information? Like, what was their source? Like, did they get it from the studios, or like, was this shit like leak? Like, but then even no, it's not even leaks, because there's a whole bunch of shit that I'm privy to. I can tell you what happens in a whole bunch, pretty much every Amazon show that comes out. I can tell you what's gonna happen. I can spoil the fucking shit out of it for you, because I have access to all their shows, and some other shit too. but I don't do it because I'm not a fucking asshole. Because I will hype it up for you if I like it, but I'm not going to spoil it for you. Like the what's the latest show? The Vox.
Oh, that's out today, I guess.
Yeah,
I know someone that was watching it.
It's fucking great. I love that fucking show so far. It's awesome. If you like The Boys, if you like cursing, if you like RPGs, you're gonna love this shit. It's violent. They curse. There's fucking. It's awesome. What I'm not gonna do is I'm not gonna spoil it for you a week before it comes out, and tell you exactly what the fuck is gonna happen in the episodes.
I think even with our podcast, like, you know, we know there's people out there that haven't watched either a movie or watched a show yet. So we try to be vague about describing about a show or something like that. We try to lure you into watching it. Mm-hmm. It's like earlier we were talking about like how we were talking about the movie about the guy who like he was going on video dates.
TV show. Yeah, Archive 81. I was super vague. Because there's a lot of more intricate stuff, but I just kept it surface level because there's a lot of depth to it.
There's like animes and but there's a threshold though. Like if it's been like a week or so, like okay, we need to talk about it because our audience want to watch it. But like if it's shit that hasn't came out yet, or just, you know, it's been like a couple of days, like come on, man, like you gotta do better.
We generally stick to the 48-hour rule. That's a minimum. It's 48 hours. So that's why we don't talk about any Disney shows on the day that it comes out, because pretty much every Disney show for like Marvel comes out on a Wednesday, and some of y'all watch it. Mm-hmm. I don't, because I'm working, and I try to watch it with K-Mac. So I will never spoil it on a Wednesday for you. And I wouldn't do it in general, but just like give people time to like watch the show and then talk about it. Don't just spoil it for them. It's like, The problem is, like, when you do that, it makes people not watch the show. Because it's like, well, I already got the basic premise of the show. And the main thing in the show that was, like, a lead-up and all that stuff, like, you already just spoiled it for them. So, like, why the fuck did they watch it? And then you wonder why shows get canceled.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of crazy, too, because, like, earlier today, like, I put in our chat saying, like, oh, shit, Levi is a fucking goat. Like, he got motherfucking Titans running from him. And Carl's like, oh, are you all caught up? He was like, oh, I was like, no, I'm like 5 episodes behind. He's like, oh shit, I almost spoiled your shit for you. Like
I want to spoil a lot.
No,
a lot.
By him saying that makes me I want to watch all the episodes so I'm fucking caught up so I can know what the. Apparently something major is about to happen. Carlos didn't tell me what happened, but he enticed me to continue. Like, I know, like, the whole... Sorry. If you haven't watched Attack on Titans and you're watching now, sorry, this is going to be a huge fucking spoiler. But there's one major character that dies at the beginning of the season. Season 4, I think. The girl that just, like, she likes to eat.
We're beyond, like, the spoiling territory at this point for that show.
Yeah.
Because it was, like...
We already talked about it, too.
Yeah, we talked about it. But, like... When I found that she had passed, like, actually on the podcast I learned that she had passed away. But I was like, holy, like when it happened, it was like, holy shit, like damn, like she didn't die like a bitch, but she died like, holy shit, like yeah, that shit was fucked up what happened to her. But yeah, I mean there's you can talk about something happening in the show to entice somebody to watch it. Like with the whole, like, for example, with like Superman's son being gay, like the headline should have been like, oh, DC character turns out to be, you know, LGBTQ plus person. Read more to find out. Like they could have enticed you to read the article, and then like they could have in the article they can lead you up to that story and be like, look, spoiler, if you haven't read this point, blah 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 blah. Like they should literally have like a byline that would cut the story. So the beginning of the story would tell you like what's going on, but then once you get to this one point, it'd be like, hey, look, if you haven't read the comic book, if you're not a fan of this character and you're just here to find out like what LGBTQ character falls to this punchline, keep reading. Like that's all they need to fucking do. But instead, they just
Yeah,
They're just there for the fucking
it's
clicks.
funny because like this is literally like I read this like the other day. This is maybe yesterday, but this is like the son of Superman, or son of Kal-El. I'm sorry, Superman, but the son of Kal-El. And this is number 7, and like they don't. And this is how like clickbaity it is. It's like this comic is actually really good, and I'm enjoying it. It's not even just because it's like LGBTQ plus, whatever. It's like it's a good story. I like that the relationship that the person is in. I like that it's like meaningful. I like that they're actually that Jonathan is putting an emphasis on dealing with more human-centered issues on planet Earth, and like kind of going sort of above and beyond what his dad was doing. And there's an organization with like him and his new partner that he's getting into, and there's like a really good storyline that's written there. And I've criticized some, LGBTQ, comic books before because the stories were shitty. They just were. But this one is actually pretty good. So, if a story is good, then the story is good. But for somebody to just like, oh look, this is the LGBT Q flag, and we're just gonna spoil it for you because it's showing this. Fuck you, man. It's like you're still spoiling it for like a bunch of people. And these are cool stories that will get people that may not be supportive of the LGBTQ community, and if they read this comic, and then maybe they would read this, the story in its entirety, and be like, oh, well now I can maybe not identify with, but at least appreciate the story.
Yeah.
Or have an open mind.
Yeah, like at least see like a different point of view. But instead, they read the headline of this comic book is this character is now bi, and then there's a huge backlash. Not instead, they could have had people that are reading this comic and then been surprised and like still appreciate the comic. So.
Like it's kind of interesting because like when I I get a lot of shit on the podcast for this, but like I read the Jim comics. See, that comic was really fucking good. But like one of their characters was part of the she was a lesbian, and like they didn't like throw that shit down your throat like, oh we got a group of girls and blah blah blah. Like the way they set it up was like, oh, she was hanging out with one of the Misfit girls. So if you're not a fan of Jim, Jim is like a group. If you're a fan of Jim, they're a rock group, and there's like their counterpart, which is the Misfits, and they hate each other. But like one of the girls from Jim, she like met one of the girls from the Misfits, and they kind of hit it off, and I was like, okay, I see where this is going, and they both turned out to be like lesbians. I'm like, oh shit, like okay, and they didn't like throw it down your throat. It was just some girls hanging out, and even they did not know that they were lesbians. Like they were just hanging out, and they just had an interest. They had the same interests, and they both found each other attractive. And then one thing led to another, and they ended up like kissing, blah blah blah. I was like, okay. It wasn't like they were like, oh, like LBG power and blah blah blah. But like, it was just really well done. Like if you can read the Jim comics, like they're really well done. Like I wish, I think did I give your daughter my Jim comics? I don't know if I gave it to her or if I still have them. I think I gave it to her.
My oldest.
Yes.
Maybe I gotta ask her. Obviously, I'm my youngest because she's just not starting to read. So yeah.
Right on. Did you want to talk about your major comic book news before we hit the end of this?
Shit. Yeah. Sorry, we're up against the end of this. So, Saga number 55 drops today.
Oh shit!
Drops today. All right, I'm picking it up tomorrow.
Wait, has it?
It's been on hiatus for almost 2 fucking years. The last comic, number 54, dropped in 2018, and I've been eagerly awaiting this to come out since 2018. And
wait, so if you can't do the math, if somebody who's listening to the podcast right now, that is 4 fucking years ago.
Yeah, I've been waiting for this comic for 4 fucking years. Almost 4 years. 'Cause I think it was in like June or July since like the last one, number 54. But it's one of the greatest comic books of all fucking time, in my opinion. I'm just saying, if you are not into comics, I would highly suggest, especially if you're an adult, and you think that comic books are silly, read Saga. Now that they're in trades, they're in compendiums, so you can definitely pick it up easily and read like a whole bunch of the comics in one go. If you're an adult, honestly, trades are the way to go. I'm a little bit silly about buying like single issues because, I like being caught up with shit. But
Yeah.
and if you look,
Yeah,
I have
no.
like 30 fucking comic boxes, probably more than that, full of fucking comics. But this is literally like one of the greatest comic books of all time. And after,
So wait.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but like, how would you feel? Kind of jump back to the whole Injustice, God Among Us comic book translated to a movie. How would you feel if Saga was made into one movie?
Yeah, I would be viscerally angry. Viscerally angry. Wait, so they made Injustice like literally into like it.
Well, yeah,
It's
one
an
fucking movie.
animated. Yeah, it's an animated film at an hour and 18 minutes.
I didn't think it was gonna be the whole entire, because there's an Injustice too.
It's not. Yeah,
but,
it's
like,
not.
the first Injustice was like 50 fucking comics, wasn't it?
Something
It
like
was
that.
it was 5 years.
But
Yeah.
I'm pretty
So
sure it
it's
was like 50 something comics.
yeah,
it-
but
it-
the movie cuts out two big portions of the events that happen. So
Hold on, I'm gonna look it
No.
up, but I'm pretty sure the Injustice comics were like at least, I thought there were 50 comics.
There
Could've
were a
been.
lot.
but the movie cuts out a lot of portions and it rearranges certain things, which I was like, what? That wasn't necessary, but I guess. So
Oh wait, holy Jesus Christ!
Hell
It was
yeah,
60
100.
printed. 60.
hmm.
It was 60 comics.
For year one.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
It was the movie it just focuses on, I guess, like some of the major plot points, but to me it kind of loses its luster when it doesn't show like the major struggle in the 5 years that happened to make a police state. And there's no time jumps either, so it's a little strange.
That's disappointing. I'll probably watch it just well.
It's on HBO Max. It's a
it's
quick
HBO Max, so.
watch. Yeah, it's a quick watch. It's 118 minutes, so
Anyway, back to something pleasant.
I was gonna say, if you want a good DC movie, watch oh shit, what the fuck was it called? The last DC movie. It's like God, what's it called? Something dark.
War? Oh, Justice
No.
League Dark Apocalypse War.
Yeah, that one's fucking good, man. Because people get fucked up. a lot of your heroes, they get fucked up. But then spoiler alert, Flash makes it better, but we don't see what he does to make it better.
Mm. Yeah.
All right. So anyway, yeah. Jesus Christ!
Saga?
I was talking to somebody as I was trying to talk. That doesn't work.
Wait,
apparently.
quick little reminder. What is Saga? Because it's been 4 years since the
It
last.
has been a while. So it's basically like a space sci-fi like epic with magic. Like it's a really weird combination of like science fiction and fantasy into one book. And so I forget the guy's name who actually wrote the comic, but I know that Fiona Staples was the artist, and she's fantastic. So let me look up Brian K. Vaughan. Jesus Christ.
That's
I remember
Brian
right
K.
now.
Vaughan.
Before I even started talking, Brian K. Vaughan, who's a fantastic comic book writer. I've read a whole bunch of his stuff, and Fiona Staples is a fantastic. She is like one of the best artists in the comic book industry, as far as I'm concerned. The way that she comes up with like these crazy fucking aliens and shit like that, is the way that she draws stuff. It's fantastic. I love them two together. Is like peanut butter and fucking jelly, like seriously. And when they said that we're gonna go on a hiatus, I'm like, okay, cool, like maybe a year. And 4 years later, I'm still waiting. So, well, we're done waiting now. But yeah,
Like an anime.
This comic is for adults. I think it's on like page 2, maybe 3. There's curse words, there's titties, there's that sets the stage for like basically the rest of the entire comic book series. It's a great comic, and I'm just so glad that it's coming back. I don't even know how to fucking put it in words. I'm literally thinking about me picking up the comic tomorrow and like sitting in my car and just reading it in my car.
Damn.
Which I don't normally do. I usually take it home and I don't read them for the next 2 days. Then I'll read it maybe on a Saturday or a Sunday. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this comic. I wish there was variants. I don't know how it's going to be received because it's an Image comic. So I don't know if there's people don't have advertisers for comics normally. But to me, I think I said it like a long time ago on the podcast that honestly, if they made this comic into a show or movies, it would be better than Star Wars.
Damn.
Like legit better than Star Wars.
If they do it right, I guess.
If they do it right, of course. So,
but I was gonna say I knew Saga was coming back because everybody was talking about it. Like I saw news articles. I saw comic book stores. They were all pushing like, "Hey, Saga's back on this date. Like we can't wait." They had little cutout boards and stuff like the Return of Saga. I was like, "Oh, I didn't realize that they had stopped." But I'm like, "Okay, Saga's coming back." I read very, very little, but it was definitely very adult orientated for sure.
Yes.
Because I was reading East of West and I was reading Saga, but I was reading it out of order, so it was like super weird. But I'm excited for people that are excited for it. I mean, I was like that with the Star Wars High Republic. I mean, until they start splintering off into all these other ones. Like I bought a bunch of the little side. They're like 4-issue mini. Whatever. What the hell? I don't know what they call them now.
Yeah, they need to stop doing that. Like the whole read through this whole series through 4 different comics or 5 different comics. Marvel is like
read this side story
with that shit.
Yeah, it's definitely, and each of these side stories are 4. So far, they're 4 comics.
Yeah.
So I have two sets now, and they just started a new one this week, and I was like, what the fuck? And then they have the books, which I've been reading. I just finished one of them. There's another book coming out in 2 weeks, which I plan on getting. So it's just I'm reading a lot, but still, it's just dude.
Well, it's the overall picture. It's interesting because if you're a fan of the podcast of Black and Black Content Infinity, it's the reason why you're here. We used to go hard, Kronos and Prodigy used to go hard on Saga. Even if you went to one of our comic book panels, they go hard on Saga. Saga was the fucking life, and the reason why it was so fucking great is because there's titties. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, you said
who did that?
Maybe.
I triggered Soggy. I triggered Google.
It's more than just titties. The crazy thing is,
there was way more.
One of the later episodes or issues, they introduced a trans character. I was like, hey, there's titties. Hey, there's that's not
P9.
There's huevos.
All right. And I was like, all right, but it was totally normal. They didn't hype it up. They didn't do anything, and I was just like, this is just the way it is. It's
yeah.
I like the way that people do that, not hype it up and just make it seem like it's normal. Because for most people, I guess not most at this point in America, but for some, it is normal. And for me, reading it, I was like, okay, this is just the way it is, and it helped me be more accepting towards, trans people, to be honest, because it's it's the normal thing. So just keep rolling.
It's kind of how it should be in life. Yeah. It's just the normal thing. But it's really interesting. Okay, if you have a Netflix or even Amazon doesn't do that too much, but Netflix is the creator, I want to say, of binge watching. If you want to binge watch a comic book, buy the trade copy,
trade paperbacks.
Trade paperback. There you go. Yeah, I can't think of the name. Just buy the trade paperback because that will get you caught up on a lot of things. Like you can, I think, what? Oh, he's walked away. I was gonna ask how many trade paperback Saga has, but I think they have 2.
You can
I want to say only 2. I'll look it up real quick.
I'm pretty sure there's more than 2.
No, he went to go grab it.
Okay.
So Cronus is sitting back down. So Cronus, how many trade paperbacks does Saga have?
Oh shit! I mean, so hold on. There's a problem though. There's trades and there's compendiums, and there's a difference.
Oh shit!
So I actually grabbed a compendium so people could see the difference. This is a compendium. This is the Invincible compendium. It's quite large, but
Holy shit!
But it also makes it way easier for like people to read. I actually haven't read this compendium yet. I actually bought it a long time ago, but I need to. It's the Invincible compendium because obviously I watched the show. It was fantastic.
That's not fucking novel.
But the compendiums, it doesn't matter. If you see a trade or compendium, get the compendium. Because you can just read it all at once. You can. There's no like slowdown. You just read the whole fucking story, and it's great. Because this one, I don't know, it's like what? This was like $65, but it's issues 0 through 47. So you're basically paying, I mean, a little over $1 per comic. You know, like it's a pretty good, it's a pretty good value for like reading a whole entire fucking series. Well, this isn't the entire series, but like almost 50 comics. Like seriously.
That's really. It's something that you should think about if you watch like a series and you're really into it, like Harry Potter, for example. Like if you're into Harry Potter and you watch the movies and you decide to watch the books, well, there's a copy of the book that covers everything. That's not. That would be a huge fucking book because there's a lot of fucking Harry Potter shit to cover.
Yeah, it only applies to comics, really.
Yeah, it really does. It's apply to comics. I was trying to think of like what realm would that fall into? It's like, yeah, it's just mainly fucking comics.
Yeah, it's mainly comics. And compendiums are great. Like, compendiums are usually only available for long-running comics. And, but it's weird, though, because it's mainly for, like, I've never seen a compendium. It might be from ignorance from me. I don't see many compendiums from, like, DC and Marvel. I see trades from DC and Marvel. There's also trades for Image and other, you know, quote-unquote indie comics. But I don't see many compendiums from Marvel and DC. But the ones from Image, like, they're fucking... Like, a good one to get, another good one, is the...
The show.
The Walking Dead.
Oh, The Walking Dead.
Walking Dead has compendiums upon compendiums upon compendiums. They have a shitload. And they're going to fucking probably break your desk. Because they're gigantic. And also, you know, Legacy of Luther Strode. It's a compendium as well. I have the hardcover, which give me a second and I'll show it to you.
I am still waiting for Luther Strode to be picked up by HBO. Like, I want... Yeah. It can be animated or live action. I don't give a fucking fuck. Like, I just need Luther Strode to be an actual fucking series so that I can just see... I just want to see fucking badass fucking gore. But I feel like animation would be great just because it'd be easier to do. Cheaper, if I think animation would be cheaper than doing like live action for Luther Strode.
Yeah. So this is like, honestly, this is one of my top 5 comics of all time. Is Luther Strode, and it's not called a compendium because it's not that big. Because if you look at like the size between Invincible and Luther Strode, like Invincible is way bigger. But as far as like story goes, I enjoyed this more than Invincible, at least in the show. And this is the hardcover of it, and this is fucking great because first of all, Justin Jordan is a fantastic writer, and obviously Robert Kirkman is as well. Y'all know his work from The Walking Dead. Yeah, but Trad Moore, this dude as an artist, I've said it many times on this podcast. Him drawing somebody getting shot in the face is like the best, the fucking best. It's the best, and there's like so many little like Easter eggs in here about it's just goddamn. I'm like just looking random page. I'm
Random
looking
page.
at it. I'm like, I need to fucking reread this shit because it's so fucking awesome. Like, just look at the violence and the artistry on these pages. It is so fucking awesome. But like,
damn.
people don't even
Yeah,
know.
right.
People that talk about that read comics. I asked them about Luther Strode, and they're just like, "What? Y'all need to read this fucking shit. All right, read this fucking comic."
So just as a pro tip. So wait, Kronos, can you show the cover again?
Yeah.
So if you look at the cover, Luther Strode's eyes are red, and there's like a little bit of red content on these, like where it says the complete volume. That's because there is so much fucking blood and carnage inside the comic that the printers ran out of ink. Like it's if Kronos, if you turn it around, like there's a little bit of red on the back.
Yeah.
Like yeah. That's the
is
inside
like
that comic is where all the rest of the red ink
This might be the
went
first time I
to.
actually opened up this one because I gave my other one to my oldest daughter. I bought two of. So I bought two hardcovers. I bought the individual comics, and I bought 3 of the trades. That's how much I support this fucking comic book.
Do you know what? I don't know if I own the digital copy of them or if I own the physical copy. Shit, I can't remember. But like Luther Strode, like every time I talk to somebody about comics, I bring up Luther Strode. Like that's probably one of the most. It's short lived, but like this guy went from being like a scrawny little guy who found a book. I mean, what's the book about to become not Hercules?
The Hercules Method.
Hercules
I'm pretty
method.
sure it's the Hercules Method. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna
It
read, but I
becomes
just
like
Google.
He basically becomes a fucking god all of a sudden, and he ends up with some like goth chick, and some shit goes down. It's my favorite scene of that comic is the sniper scene where like a guy across the building is like trying to snipe at him, and he grabs a random fucking dude and throws him through the fucking building, and like as a fucking that's fucking classic. Like if they make a movie or TV show of that and they don't have that show movie will automatically get a fucking 0 from me.
Yeah. Plus, there was the black dude. I forget his name because he doesn't actually have a name in the comic. But it was my background on my phone for like the longest time. But I got a new phone and I just like I updated the OS, so it dropped the background. But I think I forget the guy's fucking name. But he had like one of the best looks like of all time. He had like 6 shooters. And he had red and black eyes. It was fucking dope.
Yeah, what's kind of cool is because like this kid, he isn't the first to find this book to make him basically a god. Like there's other, not Luther Strode, but like there's other Hercules, whatever people. Yeah, and yeah, there's like, was it like a Western guy?
It's the shooter. That's what his name is. It's the shooter.
Shooter.
Yeah, his name is literally the fucking shooter. Just not the fucking shooter, but the shooter.
Cool.
I feel like HBO should pick this series up and just make it. They need to make it a TV series, not an animated movie. It needs to be it should be up there with Westworld.
Interesting. All right, y'all want to wrap it up?
Yeah, we can wrap it up.
Blue. Blue's all like enthralled.
No, I was reading at the different topics we have on our list, but actually I'm gonna throw this back at you, Olija. How you feeling? Like I know you had like the whole Band-Aid situation, and
you gotta pull your hat up. Let's see your.
Yeah, you can
holy
see.
Shit, yeah,
COVID.
Yeah, I mean it was worse when it first happened. I let some air get onto it, so there's a little scab here, but I still gotta treat it. So I'm probably gonna bandage it up tonight, put on some Neosporin, but I'm still alive for now, so I survived. I took a test the other day, came out negative. So
wait, were you 100% bad bitch?
Wow. Damn.
I took a DNA test.
Yeah, no. But still. Yeah, doing all right. Still doing good. I'm hoping that Cronus gets on the Foundation train. I actually watched like 3 or 4 episodes yesterday. Was it yesterday? No, 2 days ago. So I'm actually liking the series. There's a lot going on, but so far I'm still kind of liking it.
I just got
I still got
the problem is I have to pay for it like extra because it's on Apple. But I'll get over my fucking shit. I'll do it.
Yeah, I mean there are other ways. I watched it at my cousin's house because he has Apple TV, and he finished it. And like we hang out like once a week. So when I go to his house, I try to throw back like 3 or 4 episodes. While because he'll like make dinner for everybody. So while he's cooking, I'm watching an episode or two. So works out. But yeah, I mean I'm actually liking this like more and more. There's a lot of stuff happening, but so far they kind of kept it together. So it's been cool. I've been liking Peacemaker, so I've been watching a bit of that. There's a new episode.
These are so funny.
Yeah, there's a new episode tonight at midnight, and I'm probably gonna watch it. Hopefully, y'all get caught up on the Book of Boba Fett because it's getting close to the end. A lot of stuff happened in today's episode, so hopefully we can talk about it next week. Yeah, I think that's kind of about it for me. Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna take back the wheel. So I'm trying to get back into watching anime because it's like I don't even know how it happened or when it happened, but I literally canceled my Crunchyroll account. I didn't cancel my Crunchyroll account. I started making payments to my Crunchyroll account.
They canceled you, bitch.
Yeah. Oh. But no, so like I tried to reactivate it and they're like, oh no, you cannot do that. But apparently I was trying to reactivate my account using like the whole your first 14 weeks are free or something like that. They're like, no, you're an OG. You don't get shit for free. So I had to like actually subscribe again, whatever. But yeah, oh man. I'm catching up on Attack on Titan. Yo.
Yeah.
Levi is in Call of Duty and I watched a YouTube video that showed clips of him in Call of Duty. I'm like, you know what? They're doing Levi a fucking disservice. Like, this is the most disrespectful shit I've ever seen. Because Levi is a goddamn goat, and he's just a fucking badass. And he should not have been in Call of Duty. Like, is it Call of Duty or Battlefront? I can't remember which one he's in.
Call of Duty.
It's called
It's Vanguard, right? Vanguard.
Yeah.
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 Actually, I think he's in Warzone, so I guess it kind of doesn't matter.
It's horrible because Levi is a fucking badass. Like, Levi put fucking Batman to shame as far as like grappling from like building to building. Because Levi takes out this motherfucker takes out goddamn giants. Like, there's no reason why he should be hiding behind a fucking pillar with a goddamn gun and shoot motherfuckers. Like, there's no reason why Levi should be in any kind of fucking game that doesn't involve giant fucking titans. Because Levi is the fucking goat. Like, he has giant goddamn gorilla motherfucking monkeys, guys, scared of him. Like, crying in their fucking beds to keeping him from killing them. But like,
because they have nightmares about him.
they literally have nightmares about him. They literally do. But yeah, I'm catching up. I'm catching up on that. I'm also on Attack on Titan. I'm catching up on Demon Slayer. So right now, I think Demon Slayer is the most recent episodes are they're following the Mugen train. So it's kind of fun because I actually went to the theater to watch the Mugen Train. I think that's like the last movie I saw before the pandemic happened. And the Mugen Train, like, it's a really great fucking anime. Like, it's really fucking good, and it's kind of cool to go back and watch it, knowing like what the fuck is going to happen, like how it leads up to it. But it's really fucking great. But I've also been watching actually somebody. Sorry, I gotta bring this up. I know I talk about TikTok a lot, but TikTok have hooked me onto a lot of shows. Actually, TikTok got me back into Demon Slayer, but there's a show called Reset. It's a Chinese movie, or not movie, TV series.
Amazing, you're watching TikTok and they recommend you something from China. That's amazing.
Yeah, right.
I didn't realize it. I didn't put that together.
they had a really good they had a really good Caucasian woman doing the voice work for it because it was pretty compelling. But no, so it's basically it's about a girl. So first of all, Chinese subtitles, they go a lot faster than Japanese subtitles. Like, holy shit, like it's hard to like read the subtitles. But anyways, it's about a TV show about a girl who's on a bus that explodes, and she's like literally repeating that same incident, and she's working to try to stop the event from happening. I mean, it sounds like a very typical TV show, but like, yeah, basically it's Deathloop. But no, she's not. So every time she wakes up, she's at a different point in time before the explosion. So like, she wakes up like 3 seconds before the explosion happens. And the next time she wakes up, and it's like when she gets on the bus, and then she wakes up where she's like on the bus, and she wakes up next to a guy. Like it's like different times she wakes up, so she's like constantly trying to figure out how she can stop shit from happening. But like, and this, I've only saw one episode. To be honest, I saw one episode and I'm fucking hooked. And it's a really good show. And what's so crazy? It's on YouTube. It's not on Netflix. It's not on Amazon. It's not on Hulu. Like I literally went looking for this show, and like I had to go into the TikTok comments to find out it's on YouTube. So just look up Reset. I think it's posted by Yo-Yo something. I can't think what it's called, but it's so far it's really good. It's a lot of it's very interesting how it's done, and I think it's only 13 episodes, and it kind of wraps up there. But like it's a pretty fun show to check out.
Right on. Right. So I'm looking. Is this true? Did y'all see this? Is Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep about to be free?
Yeah, but that's from 2013. It's not the Wonderlands one.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking the same thing. Like,
I was like,
it's not the new game. It's not Xbox fucking the dope shit. Anyway. That's the when I first saw it, I was like, oh shit, they're finally go the Xbox.
Yeah, that was me right now.
What is it called? The service called?
Oh, Game Pass.
Not Xbox Game Pass. It's a game from fucking like 7 years ago, more than 7 years ago. It's an old ass game.
Never mind.
From like Borderlands 2. Anyway, I'll keep this nice and short. Check out 100.
Sorry.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah. You gotta talk about why you look younger.
Well, I shaved my face. But I talked about last episode. You were here.
Yeah, you talked about like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I think you had gotten up. You had got up.
Maybe next week I might shave the rest. Maybe. I don't know. I have like a weird psychological thing about like shaving the rest of my face. But maybe I'll probably get over it. I need to get over it. That's what it is. Next week it's gonna be gone.
Oh, okay.
Fuck it. I just
you
said
heard it. You heard it right here.
Next week it's gonna be gone. Yeah, because I can see
February.
My jawline's there. So to me, like covering part of my face was for me being fat. Honestly, when I used to be fat, having like a goatee cover up part of my fucking double chin, but that shit probably doesn't exist anymore. I hope. You'll find out next week.
Oh, there you go.
So,
stay tuned.
Seems like time.
There's a show on Netflix called 100 Humans. I'll keep it short. It's a really interesting show. There's some bias. There's some stuff that is not the greatest scientific studies, but there is a show on bias that is really good, and it's about like racial bias that people don't know that they have. And there's a scene where they're having people like come out with guns or cell phones, and like when they show somebody with black with a cell phone or somebody with any other ethnicity with a cell phone coming out with a cell phone, the amount of times that the black guy gets shot, it's fucking amazing. But if you're a black guy, it's not amazing.
That sounded kind of terrible, but okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And actually, the episode made me feel bad because there was a new woman. She was a very young lady that did something, and she felt fucking. She's the only person that felt actually bad about what happened, and she was crying. I was like, please, somebody give this fucking chick a hug. But yeah, honestly, it's a decent show on like basic human behavior. So if you get a chance, it's on Netflix. Check it out. It's called 100 Humans. It's not perfect, the whole series, But that experiment especially was a really good one. So check it out. Other than that, I'm looking forward to getting rescue residents up and running. And I'm looking forward to flying out to Ohio with Dan and meeting up with Matt, Becky, and hopefully Joe too. If he's still there. I honestly don't know if he's still in Ohio. I'm pretty sure he is. Meeting up with all of them, hanging out, and then driving all the way back. But I have to use the bathroom now, so that's where I'm going to cut it off.
All right.
Wait, kind of jumping back to the distance between California and Ohio, it's 2,400 and something miles. Like it's...
Yeah, but we're going to Yucca Valley, so it's like SoCal. So,
yeah. That's just from Ohio to California.
Yeah.
It's not what... It didn't say what city, blah, blah, blah. But like, yeah, that's fucking... If you got paid $1 for every mile, you can pay your rent for a month in California. Well, it's for a studio in mid-California.
All right. Users experience Black and Black times Infinity.
Infinity.
The Dankest podcast on the internet. Check us out anywhere and everywhere with Be Then BTI. That's BTHANBTI. Anywhere on the internet. And then check out our official website, benhatproductions.com/BTI. You can email us at bethenbti@gmail.com. And anywhere you listen to podcasts, just look up where we are. Check us out every Wednesday night, live, 8:30 Pacific time, when we do our live podcast on YouTube. Be a part of the discussion. Join up in the chat, because you can chat with us live every Wednesday.
Yes. And we're on Facebook podcast now, too.
Sure. Wait, Facebook has a podcast page?
Dude, and we're on it, motherfucker.
You guys are fucking killing me. I really have to pee.
Well, we're
Just saying. It's like I'm not bullshit.
no, we're done.
We out this bitch.
Peace.